Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another, a return to the Rag Company podcast.
Feels
where
good,
I'm your
Dane.
host, Dane Hennon. To my right, Levi Gates.
Hey, Dane, what's going on?
And to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Feels good to be back.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to say nice shoes, Dane. We are rocking
I
a wonderful new edition.
I feel that just looks odd.
Thanks to a
we have entered a new level of comfort.
closing.
You have. So I left mine at home
Yeah.
because my wife stole them.
Oh,
right?
she did. She saw them, was like,
Katie
"I'm
said,
taking these."
"What are these?" She's like, "These look weird." And then she put her feet in. She goes, "Oh."
They're
And
mine now.
I'm like, "Do you like those?" She's like, "These are actually really nice."
Uh-huh.
And
Augie was wearing them last night. I had to take them off his feet in the middle
Yeah.
of the night, sneak
Whoops.
in, take them off.
do they look like a little troll
You look like,
walking
you
around?
look like a little Dutch boy.
Little Dutch boy. So, anyways, guys, welcome back to the main show podcast where we
Yes.
have a lot of recapping to do
Normally
today.
we talk about our weekends, but in this case, we're talking about the last 15 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot to cover in
It's so
today's
much.
video.
It's going to be a long episode. We acknowledge
Yeah.
that going in.
So we're
But,
we already prepared by having lunch catered today. So by the time that we
no.
we walk
Nope.
out of here, right, we have
Yeah.
sushi.
Nope.
What is it? Prime rib?
Nope. We're
What?
not-
Are you
nope.
sure?
Nope.
Right,
Nope.
delicious sandwiches?
Nope.
No?
Nope. We're on our own after this. So we
Dang
may
it.
have to. This is going to be long, but you're right. We've prepared our bodies. We've gone to the bathroom. We've got our drinks. We're ready to talk. We're ready to
We're for the
discuss.
long haul.
Here
So
for
this is the
here for
longest I've
magic.
actually sat down since our flight home.
Technically,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. that
I've
was a-
been constantly moving to get the blood flow going. So,
Good.
anyways, so I guess some housekeeping really quick before we
little
jump
stuff.
into everything.
Okay.
We are back at TRC. We are back at our normal day jobs. I have not opened my email yet.
I haven't either.
So I probably have some people within the company saying, "Hey, Anthony, did you see my email? Haven't opened
No.
it."
I have a couple emails I need to get done today after
Yeah.
this.
None of us
So-
touched our email the entire time we were gone.
Well,
so
not,
far as
not
I know.
true. I
Oh, you
sent
did?
I sent multiple emails
Oh, you
because
did.
don't know if you knew this, Dane, but when Anthony and I leave the building, a lot of questions arise.
it's true.
A lot of how do we do this? How do we get this done?
You're
We
not
need
telling
help
me
here.
anything
We
I
need
don't
help.
know.
We need help here. So that
Yeah.
comes with being who we are here. At the
Well,
Rag
I seem
Company.
to recall a couple
You
of
know?
people not being here on Thursday and Friday, yet I was here. Not necessarily by choice, but just saying we all work.
Yeah, well, we have
hard.
families
So-
with children.
Well,
Yes.
need our attention.
So going back to the housekeeping, so we are coming up. I mean, we're in June now. We're
in June,
middle
yeah.
of June.
Yeah.
What's today? June
Today's the 13th.
13th.
Holy
Tomorrow, my daughter
crap.
is 8 months old. Can
Today
you
is
believe
my
it?
sister's
Wow.
40th birthday.
Congratulations to Sevi.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Sevi.
Yeah.
May you get all the good things in life.
No,
and
I don't
Levi
want
gets
all,
none
I
of
don't
them.
want all, I don't want her to get all of the good things.
Oh.
I need her to share some of those good
Oh,
things.
okay. So, other than that, though, in terms of kind of sales and stuff like that, we actually had some emails about a week ago, kind of going over some things. We had some sales we had some stuff lined up, right, that we are kind of postponing for right now just because we were out of town. We want to be able to get back on our feet and be able to get back to our normal video content. Now, on top of that, we did release a video this last Saturday.
Yeah.
O&R
Uncut.
Wash. Literally, that's what it was called.
Yeah. What
Not-
a title.
not-
Such a title.
Not on purpose, but you know
no.
what?
How fast can you
Hey,
wash
it's
a car
hilarious
with
was-
rinseless wash?
with virtually no
Who's
description, no tags,
No title,
barely a
yeah.
working title. The video performed better than ones we actually try on, which kind of makes me sad because I'm the one who usually does those descriptions and titles
hurts.
and tags. But I mean, I stopped right before our trip. That was the last thing to get uploaded, and I wasn't the one to put it on there, but I guess people were expecting me to do it, so that's my bad. I dropped the ball there. However, the video did well, despite, my lack of
Surprisingly,
contribution on that one.
Yeah.
So
People just like the content.
hopefully people enjoyed it, right? It was fun. It was kind
Fun
of
video.
kick back. That's what I'd recommend turning on when you're washing your vehicle.
A lot of people did.
with O&R,
That's
right?
the nice thing, yeah.
Sit back, relax, hang out with us, race us,
Yeah,
right? See if you can beat our
us.
25-minute time,
Oh,
start to finish.
I think that's a good moderate time
Yeah,
that
I
you
think
took.
I think
was.
so.
Some of the comments horrified me, people saying that they take like 2 hours or something. And I understand, like, I'm probably one of those people, if I were to do it, I'd be real slow about it. Like, oh, let me get a little extra. I'm not in a race, but you guys showed it's possible. And that's the most important thing. So a lot of people watching may doubt, but it's right there. It's all timed in front of you.
Absolutely. And now we're also less than a month away from 4th of July. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Can you believe
right?
that it is almost the 4th of July?
Yeah.
This year started
Nuts.
off slow, and then it
Nuts.
just exploded.
I can't believe it. I am like literally like
So
holy
realistically,
smokes, man.
get ready for a 4th of July sale we got coming up. That'll be cool. Biggest way to do that, make sure you're subscribed to the newsletter. Go down to the bottom of the website.
Yes.
Right there. Sign up for the details. And that way you're always ready to rock and roll. Now, this weekend, we are going to be hosting on Friday. We're hosting a number of Detail Mafia members coming to hang out with us.
Yep.
They're going to spend the day. We're going to do a tour. We're going to do a little luncheon for them.
Yeah.
They're all coming into town to help support the Hidden Springs Car Show, which is arguably the largest car show in the Valley.
It's
and
big. It's
Sydney,
surprising.
I would say that. Yeah.
Sydney
I mean,
puts it
especially
on.
North Valley for sure.
Yeah.
Puts on a great show.
Sydney puts it on. They hold it in her little town of Hidden Springs.
She's famous during that day.
She is
Yes.
famous during
like
that day.
I feel pretty cool when she makes some time for us and she comes and says, hey, what's going on, guys? You having fun? I go, wow. Sydney Glenn,
Sydney's
what's
here.
going
She
on?
made
Like, wow, like, thank you for saying hi. I'm loving it. I just got a
Thank you
corn
for
dog
acknowledging.
and
got a corn dog and
and
Dane's got an old fashioned
Bloody Mary.
It was a cocktail trailer. Just saying.
10 a.m. cocktail trailers going.
It was 10 a.m., but you know what? It gets us every time, right?
Oh,
it's
but
such
No,
an inviting place.
It's actually like one of the funnest car shows around. I think it's it's in the town of Hidden Springs. They shut down the main streets.
Yeah.
They open up one of the fields. They do a lot of stuff. The streets are full of cars, and it's really cool. So we've got that going this Saturday, and then we've got the whole Detail Mafia team there. So really excited. I'm looking forward to it. I like this. Kind of kicks off car show season.
I need to figure out how the heck I'm going to make it. I think I may have overbooked myself
What car?
Yeah, you're gonna ride your
with some
motorcycle?
family stuff. So I need to see if maybe I can stop by
Okay.
hour or two, maybe something. I'll see what I can do. And then we have also Father's Day
And then we have Father's Day.
this Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're
And
excited
Your first
about that.
Father's Day.
Yeah.
It is my first Father's Day.
What's
it's my
Lucy
first
gonna
real
get
one.
you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hopefully a barbecue.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or
Actually, she
or
asked me that
a new
earlier.
Oh, she
straight,
asked
or
you?
even
Okay.
a new straight shaft weed eater.
Oh.
Well, I already have a weed eater. It's already straight shaft.
Maybe you get a second.
I don't need two shafts.
You never know.
Maybe no, unless I get bored of one.
get bored of one,
yeah,
yeah,
Right,
nice
yeah,
to
you
bust
know,
out the
eventually
second.
over time it can get a little bit, monotonous. So you want to
to freshen it up.
I just
Spice
changed.
up
I
your
just
lawn
changed
care.
my hand position,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
But
Yeah.
what I was gonna say though is probably I don't know, like what do people typically ask for Father's Day?
You
right?
usually get like a
underwear,
jack stands.
jack stands.
Let's see, what have I gotten? I've gotten powered drills, like
Oh, wow.
battery powered drills.
That's kind of cool.
Some corded drills.
I don't necessarily want like a smoker. I like the idea
You
of a
would say
smoker.
no to a trade.
No,
I would like
love the idea of a
I would
smoker.
like a
I don't have
Blackstone
the
or
size
some sort
for
of
it.
smoker.
Well,
Because
I
I
don't
used to
have the-
smoke a lot of meats.
I don't have the what's it called, the area for it. But I mean, I love
Your
the idea.
yard
of it.
is big enough.
You have the area, you just
got
haven't
room.
designed the area. That's the real
You
problem.
totally
That's
have
actually the
room.
correct answer.
haven't
So
designed your outdoor
we'll see.
kitchen.
I'll think about that. But so that's this Sunday, and then we will see what the upcoming weeks hold for content and everything else. Like I said, we're just trying to catch up, and I have to catch up on Instagram with all of the content from our trip, right?
Yeah.
Because I have some killer photos. I literally have more photos and videos I've ever taken on any trip. I just don't know what the heck to do with half of them because it's an overwhelming amount. Like Dane knows what
It's
I'm
a lot-
talking
it's a
about.
lot.
It's overwhelming to look at it.
You
and
guys
think,
took in. You weren't even the ones in charge of like producing the actual content for the videos.
that's true. I
That's
know.
true.
And
That's
I want
true.
to stress to everybody watching right now.
took a
because
lot of
last
great
time we
photos.
went to the UK, I shot a bunch of stuff. We never actually made a.
I would
Probably
love to. I think we need to make it. I
that
think
video
we
is
need
still
to make
coming
that.
out.
That video.
Release the hen and cut. Okay,
We need
so
to create that.
In this
hashtag
case,
release the hen and cut of 2019. That would be hilarious.
In this
Honestly,
case-
it needs to be.
frankly, there's a whole segment in there that I'm pretty sure we can never use now. But
Yeah.
I will say this time I got so much stuff,
Good.
and once again, I got a lot of stuff that unfortunately can't really use it yet.
Yeah, that's
There's
okay.
there's enticing things waiting for people down the road, but can't quite show you.
Dane,
just
I
yet.
would say you
But
should.
we will produce a video.
You
Yeah,
should
we will.
plan on releasing that in about a month. I
Yeah.
think that should be done and edited and released in a month because I think timing-wise it'll
The
be
travel
fine.
vlog. What's
The
funny
travel vlog.
is actually, okay, so we have several videos coming out of it. Waxstock being the primary one
Yeah.
that got pushed to the front. That one should be done before the end of this week.
Yeah.
So that one's going to get done. We did a Waxstock one last time. There'll be one this time. But the travel vlog is really going to capture a lot. So yeah, if we wait a month, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
On
And
showing
then-
some of that stuff.
And then NVN, I mean, that'll be another great video as well. And yeah, we'll see what else
When we did
else is there.
tours of some
I
shops,
just
too.
don't know. This is, I guess, I'm asking you guys. I mean, I have a lot of like cool, fun shots of us out having fun, enjoying the city, enjoying
But every
the
time we
vibes.
release a travel vlog,
But-
nobody watches
But
it.
no, I mean, like I have photos, right? But I
Right.
don't know what to do with them.
Make an album.
Well,
A public
do some
album.
do some yeah.
Maybe
Put 'em
I'll-
on
And
a
then these
podcast
guys-
discussion group.
The true diehards who are watching right now, the real TRC heads, they're going to watch that. They're going to check it out. They're going to grab those photos and they're going to Photoshop them.
I
Do
should
put 'em
funny
on the
things with
discussion
them.
I
group.
think I'm going to put those on the discussion group.
Just watch
I
what'll
think I'll
happen.
try to kind of
Yeah.
curate what goes on
Create a
Instagram.
couple different
It's just
ones.
because I don't know, man. I mean, there's just so much stuff.
I think discussion group's a good spot. I'll
Yeah.
put my photos, you put yours. and
Make
we'll
an album that
have
other
some fun
people
with it.
can contribute to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that too.
I
be
know
good.
So we can
Hans. I know
all
Hans
throw
has
our
some
stuff
secret
in there.
underground
Yeah.
photos,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You know, it's us all holding
Well, he keeps
boxes.
them. He keeps them in a very secure file system in an underground bunker somewhere. in the
But
mountains.
All right, are you guys
okay,
ready to get into
so
this?
Let's
Holy
jump-
crap, let's talk about the
let's-
trip.
Let's jump into it. So Levi,
Yeah.
go ahead and get us started.
All right, so we left Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. Had a nice, easy morning. We all got there on time. It was
We did.
fun to get there and have you and your dad already there. Your mom
Yeah.
made sure you guys were there before Anthony and I. It was perfect timing.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Now, checked our bags, hopped on the flight. First flight to Seattle. Simple, easy layover. What we have about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Checked out the Delta lounge.
Got some
had
free
some
food.
free food, some snacks. Enjoyed ourselves. Then hopped on our plane.
Really quick, I
Oh.
did grab probably like 4 or 5 grandma's cookies.
That's
The
okay.
grandma's
I did too.
cookies
As
were
well
there in
as-
baskets.
Well,
free
the
for
thing
the
is,
taking.
it's like it's free, right?
Right.
Either just take as much as you want. And I'm like, nobody else is doing it because
You're
they're all
looking around.
Well, because they're all like, that's not classy. I'm like, I am not classy for this
These are
place.
The
Sounds
ladies
like
at the
cookies.
front counter are staring you down like, really?
and I'm like, I'm never gonna see these people again in my life. I'm like, give me this grandma's
Exactly.
cookie.
Yeah, we stuffed our bags with them. It was great.
Shame has just gone zero.
Got a
So
10-hour
you're just-
flight ahead of me. I'm
Mine's
going to
I'm
need
from
these.
Idaho. I don't really know how this stuff works here. I'm just gonna grab all this.
But we grabbed, so loaded on grandma's cookies, headed to our flight,
Yeah.
Delta. Now, for this trip, it was very generous of Jeff to bump us from business class to first class. We weren't quite pod,
No.
Which
we
is-
weren't.
which
We
is
weren't in
Delta
those
One.
super
We weren't
bougie
there,
sleeping pods. That was not it.
but we did get a nice seat.
Oh, yeah.
Each of us got our own nice seat
We've never gone that route before.
with the containers and things, little pockets, all the little like.
Oh yeah,
tray
it was,
table
it
things.
was super
But I feel
nice.
like
The
it was
footrest.
earned because we haven't done it in such a long time.
Correct.
We haven't traveled really in such a long time to this degree that it felt warranted. You're already paying a lot of money for it,
Yeah.
one way or another, whether you're in
Yeah.
the worst seat or the best seat. So
Very
you might as
nice.
well
Made the 10
find
hours.
the balance.
And what was great, you guys didn't have anybody in between you.
Yes,
I didn't
that was
have
very
anybody
nice.
between me and the gentleman that was next on the other side. So very easy, nice flight. Your dad slept the whole flight almost.
I didn't sleep at all.
Almost 10 hours. I think I maybe got about 45 minutes.
on
But
that
it was
first, you're talking about that first
that
flight
first
there?
flight.
Yeah.
I think it was a dad. It was kind of one of those dad sleeps where you're just kind of like, you're kind of asleep, but you're kind of just waiting for something to happen. Like one
you're
of the
not
kids to
talking
yell.
about the boys out of Seattle. You're talking about the Seattle.
Seattle. That's what,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is our big flight.
Yeah.
Not
the first flight, the second
But
flight.
a good flight. Nice, smooth.
I played. Me and Dane played a little bit of Switch, but really after that, he forced me to watch this horrible movie,
The John Wick.
John Wick
I
1.
made him watch it.
You watched
John
it?
Wick.
I made him
didn't know
watch
if you
the
guys
first
watched it.
John Wick number
because
1.
he ruined it for himself. And when I
Yeah.
talked about John Wick way back when,
It didn't
and he
make
watched
sense
the
though,
second
huh?
one
Because
instead.
you didn't know
So-
anything about.
And
the
then he said
characters.
it's terrible, and he didn't want to watch any of the others, so I forced him to watch the first one.
It's not
finally.
always. It's
So-
always fun to be forced to watch.
But
a
it
movie on an
already
airplane.
ruined the experience for him, so I'm really upset.
You had
Because
10 hours,
it's-
nowhere to go.
So number 1 was substantially better than number 2,
Okay.
right? Probably because it just had a better storyline. It probably was the main storyline.
I was trying to tell you.
But
and you wouldn't listen, and then you actually...
I definitely did not like the whole dog situation in that movie. That was very upsetting.
That's like the basis for
as a guy who loves dogs.
On that.
But yeah, no, we watched that, and I think we watched a couple other movies. We watched Boss Level,
which was fun actually. Yeah, like it was like kind of forgettable, but it was fun.
Very forgettable.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It was just kind of like goofy fun.
My monitor through the whole flight was glitchy.
Yeah.
And kept shutting off. So I thought perfect time to pull out the MOS Video Travel Solution package.
Ooh, yeah.
Pulled it out. Nothing really downloaded.
Yeah.
So I had no movies downloaded. So I was like, dang it. So I was forced to Wi-Fi in the Delta Studio app onto my tablet. But Dane, I stuck my tablet in the back of my headrest, and the only thing that would happen was when you'd get a little excited when you were playing a video game or something, you would rock your seat a little, and it would make my screen flap back and forth, and I'd have to pull it out and hold on to it. Because I'd look over, and you're like, you and Anthony had your controllers
One
and you were
thing
playing.
that was incredibly annoying that unfortunately Anthony had to suffer through was I would look over occasionally. Your screen would black out and would hard reset.
So
he had a faulty system on his particular
Yes.
screen that wanted to keep resetting,
Yeah.
but it was random. It was only when like a little like short would happen in the wiring, like it moved just enough. The guy in front of you would like adjust his seat, and that's when it would happen.
I know.
Or a stewardess would walk by and like bump it a little bit, and then it would hard reset, and you're sitting there going, I was 40 minutes into this movie. But then you figured out, I can move to the timestamp. I remember it. We're okay.
Yeah.
We made it work.
It worked. We made it. We landed. The first world
survived.
problems, right?
First world problems.
Yeah, very much first world problems.
Made it. So we
but
landed.
really quick, food.
Yeah,
food on the flight.
Oh,
we had chicken.
You gave me your ice cream.
I gave you my ice cream, but we had like a chicken dish with a little bit of rice. Oh, it was a quinoa.
It was like teriyaki chicken, but like the teriyaki was
Good,
like somebody breathed teriyaki breath onto it. It barely tasted like
teriyaki, rice, and then we had some beans or something like that on the side, green beans, and then we had a breakfast.
By flight standards, it was good.
Yeah.
Breakfast sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what we had.
Too small. I felt we needed
very small.
Anthony and I lost weight on this trip.
So
I wish I could say the same.
We only got 2 meals on that flight.
10-hour flight.
And
2 meals.
a couple snacks.
Not even that many snacks. I think we get more snacks on a cross-country flight on a transcontinental than a transatlantic.
Agree with you. Yeah, we didn't really get much, did we?
Compared to the last time when we took Virgin Atlantic,
Virgin seemed to just feed us all the time, like every few minutes.
Yeah.
But this was Delta. Delta was a little more stingy.
And I was... Yeah, I mean, I took all the wine they gave me, but even that, they didn't make that many stops. I mean, the thing is, you can go back to the back, but then you feel kind of weird. You go,
but
hey, can I get a refill?
I would like to say Anthony made friends with the stewardesses and procured snacks for the team.
They're not called they're called stewardesses. They're
flight attendants. But he was able to get there and procure snacks for all of us. So it was nice every time you'd come back, you'd hand out treats.
I was wheeling and dealing.
Which was nice.
Yeah, no, I saw you.
I
literally disappeared for like 15 minutes.
I went up to Martha and May, and I said, hey, so, you guys do this flight quite often, right? A couple times a week. Yeah, we just, I'm like, awesome, I'm from Idaho. That's very cool. I'm like, anyways, those snacks were delicious. And they go, we have plenty more. Do you want some Biscoff cookies? Do you want some Smarties? Do you want... What do you want? I said, honestly, I'll just take a little bit of everything. And I did, and I came back to the boys here and started passing snacks out.
Yeah, it was
and
great.
You sure did. They look at me like, who are you?
Yeah, I was like, what have you been doing? He's like, I've just been talking to the ladies
Other
back
passengers are looking like, is this guy, what's his deal?
Yeah, it was great. Really great.
What's his angle?
So that was the flight. Let's not get too hung up on travel.
We land in the
Schiphol.
Netherlands.
Yes.
Yep, at Schiphol Airport. Patrick and Dylan are waiting for us.
Yep.
Now, we left Boise at 10 a.m. Boise time.
Yeah.
We have now landed at Schiphol Airport. It's 2 a.m. Boise time.
But
it's 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yeah.
In there. So we so we made it to so we got there. We got through customs very simply, very easily, no issues. Anthony and I changed our shirts. We had deodorant packed in our bags so we could put some deodorant on.
That was smart.
Brushed our teeth. Things like that. It felt good to kind of freshen up after a long flight.
It kind of felt good, except
you were in a small bathroom.
I went to a small. I can't tell people that part of the.
You don't have to.
No,
anyway,
yeah,
Anthony had
anyways.
some discomfort in that tiny bathroom because he barely fit in it.
Yeah.
It was almost like a
big guy.
You're kind of a big guy.
What is this? A bathroom for ants?
Yeah, it was very small. So anyway, we grabbed Patrick and Dylan.
We took 2 separate cars.
Two separate cars.
You guys rode Patrick, we rode Dylan, and then our first
BMW 5 Series Touring, estate, wagon, whatever you want to call it. Volkswagen Polo for us with Dylan.
Polo, yeah. So our first stop was actually
was Amsterdam.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, so we went into Amsterdam town, parked in a garage.
Yeah, there was no going to a hotel and getting a little
hopped on a
shut-eye.
train.
We just went straight to Amsterdam.
Went to their convention, to a convention center there, parked, hopped on a train, took the train into the city, and then wandered around the city for about 5 hours.
Yeah.
So, and what was your first impressions of
Place
Amsterdam?
smelled like marijuana.
Oh, everywhere you go.
But
You're just
beautiful.
getting hit with a cloud
Honestly,
of dank.
really cool. It was kind of it was kind of dirty, but really neat.
That guy and that kid just walking around pissing on walls.
That was weird.
Dane,
that
you
was
didn't have to
strange.
talk
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
I said
Dane.
that.
You
That
didn't
was
have to-
just,
But
was
I will say
a
it was
thing
it
that
felt
happened.
like it was cool to be able to walk through and go, I love seeing the history of a place. I love seeing like how many generations of people have lived here.
That was cool.
That's my favorite thing. I love the colors of the buildings. I love the tiny skinny houses. I thought that was super cool. Seeing the old canals, seeing them pull some of the bikes when they've dredged the canals.
They were
and
almost
seeing them all
like
kinda-
art fixtures.
Yeah, it was kind of neat.
The way they were just tied to a tree
It definitely
afterwards.
wasn't. They were just pulling them out in case anybody needed their bike back.
But from a photography perspective,
yeah,
they made
super
for some
cool.
cool
Super
artistic
cool.
shots. If you will. 3D printed bridge.
3D printed
That was
bridge.
cool.
That was pretty rad to see. We did go through, in case you guys wonder, we did go through the red light district. But
Because,
it was,
I mean,
again,
you're there. You
Sunday morning at 10 a.m.
Well,
Yeah,
they
nobody
also,
was
really out.
shockingly active.
well, but they also said it's not as active as it once was.
correct.
They said
Moved
there's
it.
still a lot of the red light district stuff that goes on, but they said it's like
not
10
on the main
they
streets
said,
anymore. It's
They said
now in
10
the
years
alleys.
ago it was like
Yeah, crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
And so now it's kind of like you'll still see stuff, but it's different.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
I mean, I would say my opinion also is that it smelled like marijuana and it smelled like cigarettes. I mean, like it's one or the other, right? It's actually a combination of both, right? I believe they call those spliffs there. But there
Guys,
was,
I'm just telling you right now, there are parts of this whole podcast that are probably not going to be family friendly. Just bits and pieces.
I mean, just a lot of that, a lot of pigeons.
A lot of pigeons.
There was, it was dirty. I mean, there's some trash on the streets and things like that. But I will agree with Levi. The building colors are beautiful. The history of the area was beautiful.
The architecture
I think
was super cool.
Cobblestones.
the architecture, the cobblestone, just kind of being there. Like if you were to take away the tourists and all the people and have that city to yourself, it would be pretty awesome.
I wanted to rent a bike or a scooter and go scooting through there.
Or one of those
You know?
weird tiny cars with the super short wheelbase and no doors. And you could just
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
but
was
it was
awesome.
cold, man. It was a cold day that day.
It was cold. It was windy.
I was enjoying that.
It was like 50 degrees.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Perfect.
We did not dress for that.
Then we we had lunch, a little cafe. Mm-hmm. That's where Dane saw his friends, and then that he
some
just
guys
spoke
wandering around
about.
in the
And
background.
then we ended up.
I wish I could show them the pictures. I took some great pictures at the
a lot of great.
the red light district, but I don't think
Yeah, you can't.
Well,
show
some of
them.
those are definitely not.
any of them are family appropriate. But we
But-
did
Safe for
took a boat.
a boat to
Yes.
explore the actual canals.
Yeah.
A canal boat, or as Anthony pronounces it, canal boat.
Well, which
So
I
we
would say
took-
the canals didn't smell as bad as you might think they would.
Well, it's water, Dane.
Well, I've been
But
around
Venice,
some
I
rivers,
hear,
some
Venice,
canals
I
that
hear,
didn't
is
smell
kind of
good.
smelly.
Yeah.
Never been, but
This case, it was actually fine. And when you're out in the boat and everything, totally
No,
fine.
it was great. So we rode those boats. The problem was by this time it was now probably 7 a.m. Boise time. So we'd been
I
up for
was
over 24 hours.
starting to feel that
We
kind
were
of
in a
sickly,
very
tired.
warm boat that was rocking
It was
us
all
gently.
windows, and the sun started peeking
The
out,
little
and it
greenhouse
turned into a
effect.
terrarium.
Yeah, and all of us got very sleepy,
looked at Dane
including
and-
Patrick. Patrick said he was trying hard not to fall
I
asleep.
look at Dane. I said, Dane, you look like a bearded dragon right now. He's just like,
Dane was sweating. He was dying.
oh, we got
So I
on the
had him
boat.
crack that window next to us. It's like, oh,
We
thank
got on
God.
the boat, and I was like, man, I'm kind of thirsty, right? And all they had was like a euro only, like cash, like you get a cooler, right?
The money.
And I was thinking about, I'm like, man, I probably should get like a water because my mouth is so dry.
It was just a girl walking around with a cooler, like in a baseball game kind of thing, like just somebody's random cooler, and they're just selling it out of there. With
I don't think I can make it through this. I'm like, literally, my mouth, like my tongue is sticking to the roof of my mouth. Everything's so dry. And I see this one guy order a Heineken. I'm like, oh god, that looks so good. Thing is, I didn't have any euros on me, right? The only person that actually got euros was Jeff, right? So I tapped Jeff on the shoulder. I said, hey, Jeff, you think maybe we can get a drink? And Jeff goes, well, do you have any euros? And I said, no. And he's like, well, I have some. And he's like, well, you're going to have to, And then right as she's getting off the boat and closes it, and he's like, sorry, you probably should have acted faster. And I was like, what? I couldn't act any faster.
She had been walking around in there for the last 10 minutes, and you didn't really feel it.
It was like an hour and a half boat ride where I was like, my tongue, I'm just like, I'm so thirsty.
No, I was thirsty too.
Substantial tour. It was
But we got done, and we headed to a little convenience store, grabbed some drinks, grabbed some sodas, then cruised over. Back to the cars, hopped in the cars, and we headed into Hengelo, which is where TRC EU is based. And so rode in Patrick's cars. That was the time I tried to stay awake because I wanted to see. I love the countryside. I didn't want to sleep through it. So
it's very green.
I wanted to see it. That. It was beautiful. Yeah. And then got to Hengelo. Patrick dropped us off at the hotel, which was by far the nicest hotel.
That's my favorite hotel on our whole
Beautiful, beautiful hotel.
Beautiful.
What was it called? It was
the Vandervalk. Hengelo. Okay, yeah. And so we stayed at the Vandervalk, Hengelo.
The rotating door at the front, the swivel door, had trees, like super decorative, like cherry blossom looking trees, embedded in the doorway so that it swirled around. It would just look so cool compared to any
Anyway, we got there. It was beautiful. Had about an hour or two to chill out, relax, kind of take a nap. Patrick came back, picked us up, and we went to dinner.
Yeah.
Went and had a great dinner in town. Got to meet Chantal,
who's very nice.
Yeah, we had dinner, hung out with them.
And that was the steak dinner.
That was the steak dinner we went to,
and so that's where.
That was the
first experience of, once again, going to a foreign country and they do the American food thing, but it's like a little bit.
It was the best way to describe it was a.
Patrick asked us. He said, "Where do you guys want to go eat?" And we said, "Wherever you guys feel comfortable, whichever you want to enjoy. We'll be happy with any local fare. We'll grab a pub, a restaurant, whatever's traditional." Yeah. And Patrick goes, "Well, I kind of want to take you to a nice place." And I want to take you out for like a steak. Like I want to take you out to a nice fancy restaurant.
Oh yeah, heck yeah.
And Jeff's like, oh, I like that idea. Yep. Well, the fancy restaurant was this steakhouse that we went to, but it was very strange in decor. Like when you start looking at it, it was a beautiful building.
So it was an Italian themed restaurant, right?
It had that
with
look
the
and that
branding of a USA burger joint, like an American
like
diner.
Some of the art on the wall reminded me of being in a KFC. Like it was very interesting.
American,
like somebody played the game of
an American diner branding, Italian style building, KFC inspired wall art, right?
And they played country music.
And then they played country music, but had the cleanest kitchen of any kitchen I've ever seen in my life. It was like freaking immaculate.
And good food.
But then the food was insanely good. I ordered a ribeye, and I was like,
yeah, it was good. It was delicious. So it was just kind of one of those where we were like,
It's so fun though to see how people interpret these things. Like, what is an American style thing? And the things they choose to grab are fascinating. Like, what was the thought process?
So then from there, right, we ended up actually leaving.
So we had a nice walk back to the parking lot.
We had a nice walk.
You two were walking way ahead.
But what ended up happening was what Dane had been fearing this entire time. Now, we had told Dane prior to this trip, if you fall behind, we will leave you. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And
code of the road.
It's just code of the road. And
so much for No Man Left Behind.
And he knows how this works.
By that.
Me and Levi were enjoying the sights, the sights and sounds.
But see, you enjoy sight. I'm going to say it right now. You enjoy sightseeing almost the way that you eat, where you're like, I'll enjoy it later. I'll process the images in my mind later. I'm going to walk so fast I can't actually enjoy it.
Well, also, Dane, here's the deal. I just ate a steak full of butter, and I was
walking slower slower, not faster.
No, Dane. I'm the opposite.
He had a rocket ready for launch.
Yeah, basically, I'm on a short fuse,
Yeah,
man.
it was already loaded.
Right?
Pre-ignition.
I didn't know the steak was cooked in butter, and I said there's only a certain amount of time, so I was booking it. But then Dane got stuck behind, and then
I was
Dane,
in between all of you though, so I wasn't behind everybody.
Yeah.
I was ahead of the other group of like the adults.
So, and that's
essentially.
why I don't understand how there could have been a man that came up to you.
So I was in the middle, and you guys were probably a good 100, 150 yards ahead of me.
That's a lot. That's a football field.
About
That's
a
a football
football
field and a half.
Yeah,
Dane.
yeah, you were about a football field ahead of me, give or
I
take.
feel like we're that far. I feel like we're like 20 feet.
Oh, no, you were not 20 feet. You were, okay, football field exaggeration. It's
a long ways.
You were 2 blocks minimum
So
ahead
basically, we were
And the
far
other
away
group was
enough
about a
not
block
to be able to
behind
hear
me.
you scream.
Yeah, basically.
There was no screaming. So the thing that happened was it's my job when we go on these trips to take photos, to take video, to capture the moment. I, unfortunately, for better or for worse, have to be the ugly American tourist who goes around and takes pictures of everything, because if I don't do it, it's not going to happen on this trip, and then I won't have done my job.
But I was
which is
taking
to
them and posting them
capture
to my feed
all
as
this
we
stuff.
walk.
But it
So-
also makes Dane a target.
So, by presenting as somebody who's
gotta
clearly
remember-
not, by presenting as someone who is clearly not
Right.
from there, because I'm taking
Anthony's
pictures of
the
like
Jack Reacher of the
literally
Netherlands.
everything.
I'm heavily tattooed.
You two
so
are well ahead of me.
Nobody
I mean,
wanted to even mess with us.
I'm telling you right now, the 20-foot thing, not even close. You're at least 100 to 150 feet ahead of me, which is a lot less than yards.
Okay,
But yes.
so tell us
point
what
is,
happened.
I'm walking. I look like I'm by myself, but I'm really not. I got you guys like within shouting distance if I want, but
We hope.
I'm walking. And I'm taking pictures of these very interesting statues that like go up and over a building. Like they kind of like create a story as you're walking by. It's very interesting. And I'm taking these pictures, but there's glass storefront windows on the base. So as I'm walking, I can see a perfect reflection of what's going on behind me. Mm-hmm. And I'm focusing on taking my pictures, but then suddenly I hear a voice in the background. Abend. 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 Abend, Abend. And I at first I heard it, I thought it was somebody just trying to talk to somebody else. I'm like, oh, they're speaking German or something. Not for me, whatever. But the voice kept getting closer. It was a little unnerving as the voice just kept getting closer, which is Abend, which is, I guess, is like a way of, in German maybe of saying good evening. But basically just... Thank you, G.
No,
so I just keep hearing
so
Abend, 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 Abend. And it's getting closer and closer. And it's this guy walking diagonally towards me. I see in the reflection of the glass as I'm taking pictures and video of these interesting statues. I kept walking, but I see the guy just getting closer, and I see the reflection. There's no one else around me
What
close enough.
was he wearing?
He was wearing a long brown trench coat. And he had salt and pepper hair, very curly. He was extremely
Now, in case
gaunt.
you're wondering, we're in downtown Enschede.
So he had a very thin build. Like he was a skinny guy with like sunken cheeks. Clearly looked like he probably didn't eat a lot or maybe partook
said
in
there's
some
something weird about his
extracurricular
eyes.
activities. His eyes were like a shark's eyes, like a doll size. I know I'm repeating basically like Jaws here. But the fact was, he had dilated pupils. They were huge, and they were absolutely pure black. And he basically, let me set the scene. He's like, Abend, Abend. He walks up, he taps me on the shoulder, and I go, oh God. Because at that moment, I'm like, oh no. And I turn around, and I see this guy, and that's where, I get like, all the look.
Stranger
and I'm like,
danger.
Oh boy, okay, yeah, your
You've
fight or
met the
flight
devil.
kicks in. And I'm just like, okay, He looked like he was straight out of like an 80s movie or something, just the way he was dressed and looked. So he goes, sprechen Sie Deutsch? And no, I don't speak German very well. So I was just like, no. And he goes, oh, you speak English. And I was like, and just weirdly, I wasn't thinking, I was just acting, and I said, no, I'm with a crew. And they're just like, what? He was... I have a question for you. And I'm just like, okay, this guy's got his hands in his pockets.
Have you ever danced with the devil on the pale moonlight?
Aside from
Question he had
tapping
for
me
him.
on the shoulder, his hands have not left his pockets. They're staying firmly in his pockets. Whatever's in there, I don't want to find out.
Was he moving around a little? Or
No,
not
he was
really?
standing there. He was just like,
Maybe he was just cold.
it was just a cold stare, pure black eyes.
Yeah.
Just yikes. And
But a
I
question
knew
for
I
you.
knew I had the other group behind me, and I had you guys ahead. You guys were too far ahead to really get the attention of. So I said, okay,
left you.
I am going to get back and away from this guy as quickly as possible. He goes, I have a question for you. Well, he didn't look like a guy who like just lost his kid or his dog or his cat or whatever and was looking for help finding it. That's not what this guy came across as presented. If he was, I'm sorry, dude, but you came across real sketchy. So I just said, no, I'm with some people. I need to go catch up with them. And then he was just like, had the most perplexed look on his face. Like I didn't even want to see what he wanted to ask me because I didn't want to see what he wanted to ask me. I didn't want to find out. So I blasted back to the other guys. And
Was it a run or a sprint or?
It was a speed walk.
was-
So
oh.
I was
It was
just like
Dane
cruising,
Hennon using them
just
legs,
like, you know,
finally.
get back there. And then I caught up with Patrick and
Large
my dad
stride.
and Chantal and them. And they all looked and they're like, what's up? What
Why
was
are
that
y'all
guy
sweaty?
asking you? They were just like, what happened over there? And I was just like, I explained what I just explained to you. And they're just like, that's weird. And I'm like, I didn't want to find out what was going to come next.
For what it's worth, Dane was shooketh about
was-
this
he
situation.
I was probably
He
just
was
going to get,
very,
you know,
very
it's probably
stressed.
just a hyperactive imagination. People are like, whatever, the guy was probably just going to ask you for directions or something.
He
No,
sounds like he
I'm
met the
telling you
devil.
right now,
So I don't know.
that guy was
Maybe
not
it's
going to
right
ask
to
for
Doll's
directions.
eyes.
I realize I'm overreacting here, but you know, if I got a little gut stab or mugged or whatever, I wouldn't want to, you know, spend the rest of the trip in the hospital. So in this case, I just said, you know what, just bounce. You know, if it hurts somebody's feelings, I normally really try and care about other people's feelings. This case, wasn't happening. So out.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so basically now there's a running joke amongst us when something is just a little creepy. You go, Abend.
Well, I didn't even know what the
Yeah,
the
we didn't even
term-
know. We were up
like,
ahead.
I-
We were walking around, and then all of a sudden, the group. We wait for the group, and they come up, and Dane's like speaking 100 miles an hour to the group, and we're like, "What's going on?" Dane's like, "You guys don't understand. I almost got robbed. I almost got mugged." And we're like, "Are you
didn't
sure
know
about
what
that?"
the
Like,
heck it
we
was.
saw that, dude.
Like maybe he was just asking.
Well,
for
what happened
directions.
was
Probably
when we
needed money.
started walking, as I walked with the group, the guy turned around. He did not even try and follow up with a question once he saw us with other people, which tells me whatever was coming
Nefarious.
wasn't good because he didn't wait around to talk to me after I joined with the group. He was just like, "Ugh," and he kind of hurried off in a
okay,
different
weirdo.
direction up a different street.
Maybe
So that happened.
He could have opened
That's
up the
it.
trench coat and had a flash sale going on, right?
No, I could tell he had like a shirt and stuff on under that. So it
that's
wasn't
good.
that. It wasn't that.
Sure, only covers so much.
All I
Han
know
says
is
he wanted to know where your leaderhosen
Yikes.
were.
So
Yeah, maybe.
moving on. So that night ended. We went back to the hotel.
You took a bath. Drew yourself a
I
bath.
took a bath, right?
Because we
I-
had the most exquisite room.
I told everybody. I said. I
Lovely.
told Levi specifically. I said, "Hey, there is a nice bathtub here. I can
It was
say
huge, too.
I've
Don't let it go to waste.
never have taken a bath in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Now I can say I have. So I jumped in that bath. I made a big old like
Lot of bubbles.
sudsy bubble
Yeah.
bath, and I had fun. So that night ended, and then the next morning, me and Levi went down and had the most exquisite
Insane breakfast, hotel breakfast we've ever had.
exquisite the best. This is the best hotel breakfast I've had
Ever.
since I went to Germany on my honeymoon and had a breakfast at the Eurostars Hotel.
Oh, okay.
This was that level of like options, man.
Okay. Mhm.
When I see smoked salmon, like fresh greens, fresh produce, literally fresh orange, squeezed orange
It couldn't have been
juice,
squeezed more than 10 minutes before you got it.
like fresh cooked bacon, eggs, everything. Like literally,
Oh, it was insane.
I
insane.
was, dude, I was like blown away.
Yeah, and Anthony and I, being the Americans that we are, we grabbed 2 full plates and walked back to our table
Meanwhile,
to enjoy
everyone
them.
else in the hotel
All the other
looking over
folks
like,
had like 3 little items. Like I have a slice of
Well-
orange, a banana, and a yogurt cup, and they're sitting
I'm
at
like,
the table
wait,
with the 3. And Anthony are like, coming through.
Yeah.
Got a couple of
Big
big
fat
boys here.
Americans.
You gotta get these good breakfast right here.
But like it was funny because I see these normal European men, businessmen sitting down, like you said, with their toast and their bread, maybe a little bit of butter, a little bit of jam, and I go, "That's what you all eat for breakfast here?" Like because I guess
It's a European.
the European way is really not to have a
lighter
massive
breakfast. Yeah.
breakfast. They eat relatively light, whereas us, we go pretty big on every meal, really. And I don't know, man. I dude, my plate was
So much food.
full.
We ate. Well, you got to remember though, we hadn't eaten.
I was embarrassed to like walk by the other workers as they're looking.
Well, my
at me
brain,
like,
yeah,
This guy.
my brain. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, we need to eat so that we got a good base because we don't know when we're gonna eat.
Well, we learned as the
Again.
trip went on, there weren't a lot of meals happening.
Well, and we
today,
thought,
so
and so I
you had to
thought
get
we
it
got to
when you could.
fill the tank while we have it. And I go, plus and in my head, I'm like, I haven't eaten in like 2 days. Mind you, I had just killed a 14-ounce ribeye the night before.
But your brain isn't
Like-
processing the days as days
Correct.
yet. It's just
Yeah.
everything kind of bleeds together.
So we ate. We had a delicious breakfast. We listened to some great music. We got to watch people ride their bikes to work.
Yeah.
Just wonderful, wonderful thing. Then we let Jeff and Dane know that we just had a delicious breakfast. Quite possible. We stated it right then and there. This is going to be the best breakfast of the entire trip.
So Dane, you're gonna need to film this, and so you did film a little portion of it.
I filmed myself in the elevator going down to the breakfast without having seen it yet, saying, the guys told me this is going to be pretty bomb. Let's find out. And
Dude,
so that'll appear in the travel.
I'd pay $100 right now to have that breakfast again.
I know, me too.
That sounds crazy, but I would
It was
totally
delicious.
do it. But so after that was our big, after we
We
finished
had to
breakfast
repack.
We
Yeah.
repacked because
you go,
we didn't
Kirby.
stay in the same hotel for like 8 days. And so we ended up packing up and then jumping back on the road. Patrick and Dylan picked us up. And from there, they surprised us because we've been talking about how this particular trip, we were visiting 3 countries, right? And we were like, man, 3 countries, this is gonna be amazing. It's too bad that there wasn't a 4th country nearby, right? And so they start driving, and we're like, hey, Brick, where are we going? Oh, a little surprise for you, right? And about 5-10 minutes later, they say, well, boys, welcome to Germany.
Welcome to Germany.
And we were like, what?
Wow.
Because it wasn't that far. It's literally from here to your parents' house.
You're standing
It
out and
was.
you're like, looks just like the Netherlands.
So we crossed into Germany. So now we could say we went to 4 countries.
while we were there.
Now we were only in Germany for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Took some
We did shoot a
photos.
video.
Beautiful,
while we were
beautiful
over there.
morning though.
We said it was that's the thing, man.
The
Like
sky
all
was
that
bluer.
that countryside,
Yeah.
all that type of European countryside is so much better looking than anything that in Idaho specifically, but a lot of things that we have here. It's just beautiful and old. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It feels
stunning.
older.
Stunning.
Feels
yeah.
older. So, but we did that and then jumped back on the road because we had a meet and greet at the
Yes.
Rag Company Europe.
Yep. OCC. So showed up. A lot of folks already there. We
I
heard
was happy to
Hans.
see that.
Hans actually slept there. He pulled into the parking lot and camped out.
He's
He had
like,
a
just
tent.
give me a pallet and a pillow.
He
and
was
I'm
ready to
good.
go. Dirk Dew drove up from Germany.
Yeah.
We had so many people. Justina showed
lot of
up.
people.
Patrick Mole showed up. Vermeil showed up. Leonard Vermeil came
Yep.
and showed up. Gabriel was there.
Yeah. Oh, such a nice
just
guy.
so many.
Michael Polly.
Michael
all
Polly
those
was
guys,
there.
yeah.
So many fun
Say Hans?
folks. Hans
of
Hans
course.
slept there. He
Yeah.
slept in the parking lot the night before.
I don't know if that's actually
Yeah,
true.
he had
or
a
not.
tent.
The man with the dragon tattoo
Had a pup tent
himself.
set up.
And so it was funny because I went to Hans. I told him, I said what I've always wanted to say to him. And he goes, you can't say that on the podcast, but you've always wanted to say that to me. I'm like, it's true, Hans. It's true.
Yeah.
But we were just, it was such
awesome.
a warm welcome. And Patrick and the whole
And
team,
Edwin
right?
and
job.
Chantal and
Everybody,
Quentin
like
and-
Chantal, like she had food rolling
Yeah.
out. Like we had food. we
Yeah,
had
Edwin was
drinks.
making
pallets on the
coffee for
tables with a
everybody.
Nice little wrap.
Like
It was great.
we just felt so loved and welcomed, and we really couldn't have asked for a better experience. It was the perfect amount of people, and we got to give hopefully a lot of the people equal amounts of attention and be able to just kind of talk with them about detailing stuff, answer any questions.
Just cracked open a case of Eagles. Yeah.
But we, I don't know. I mean, like I absolutely loved it there, and it's so cool to see how much OCC has grown over there.
Yes.
Rag Company Europe has grown, and how much it continues to grow, and the things they have in the pipeline for the future. And I mean, it surprised me just kind of taking a tour of the building and seeing their offices and seeing their meeting room, and I'm like, dude, you guys are doing this right.
They're
like,
doing it
this,
right.
Yeah.
This looks great. Like, you guys have forklifts. You guys have everything you need. And I think we're just really proud. I think that we're very proud of what they're doing over there.
So
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. It was really cool to see what the boys had done with all that. And then it was just awesome to have, like, we had folks from Germany, from Belgium, from who else came up? We had just the Netherlands, a lot of Dutch detailers. It was just really cool to see everybody come just to say, hey man, how's it been? How you been hanging? I have, and having not only podcast friends, but just true friends be there.
Real people.
Such a nice surprise.
Friends,
I mean, I know it was a big surprise. Some of the people that showed up for me was just really good.
Because you do when you go to these things, you have no real assurances that anybody's going to show up. I mean, there's people you hope turn up, but you don't know that. You just turn up and hope for the best. But Facebook event gets listed, and you see like 7 people say yes, and you're like, of those 7 people, will they? No, we ended up having a lot more than that. It was great.
It was awesome.
Every single one of them.
But
very happy.
Spent the day.
Well, we spent the day there. I had great conversations
videos,
with Vermil.
Pictures. Yeah, you had a great talk with Vermil.
So talk with Vermil, and he's also just killing it, man. I just
he was in the comments.
I love everything that he's doing, and I mean, we talked a lot about kind of YouTube and everything, kind of his plans for his web store, because he's selling Rad Company products that he's purchasing from TRC EU, and I think he's just absolutely killing it. The quality of his videos, the fact that he's a one-man show, I'm like.
It's impressive.
When I told him, I said, we have like a 10-person media team. He's like, wow, that's amazing. And I said, but I almost like your videos 100 times more than like our videos. And so he thought that was a nice compliment. But I was like, seriously, dude.
Well, according to the YouTube metrics, it's kind of backed up there.
I'm like, dude, you kill it, man. Like you're so good at portraying the detail, from start to finish. And so we had a good talk about that, and then I talked to Michael about a lot of detailing products, and then we ended up doing some videos there. I think we did a tour. We also did a couple Talgas giveaways, and we did random photos and stuff like that.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I would say realistically, once they get their studio, they're building a little media studio there for video stuff. And I think once that's done and we go back, we could easily spend maybe another day, maybe another 2 days there. Only if we stay at that hotel. Of course,
oh, yeah, of course. We stay there. That's going to be our hotel from now on, the Vanderbilt.
It's going to be that hotel.
Because I'll tell Patrick, I'm like, hey, man, I'm down to come again. We can stay for longer. But I'm staying at that hotel.
It's got to be that hotel.
No, we're staying at the Vanderbilt for sure.
But, it was awesome. Oh, what do we have here?
An autograph.
We have
Spirit Fine Detailing, South Bay.
Please have Dane Anthony and sign one of the sleeves.
All right.
Michael Chai.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Do you want
cool.
You start. We go around the horn.
So super fun to be there. But here's what we ran into. We had a flight that night. Yeah. And we had to get to Geneva, Switzerland.
Yes.
Now, the problem we were running into was Patrick had heard through the grapevine there had been staffing shortages at Schiphol Airport.
There were going to be
the airport delays. Was saying 6 hours. Please get to the airport 6 hours ahead of your flight. And we were like, that ruins our day. That ruins the event. All this stuff. So we left at 4:30. Headed there, got there about 6:30. It was about 7:30. It was 6:30 when we got there. Walked in. Our flight was at like 9 o'clock. So it only gave us about 2 hours. Perfect timing though. Because of the way it worked, we were able to walk in, check our bags, walk through security, down, and we still had an hour and a half or so to go grab some dinner. Yeah. So we were able to go eat, enjoy a nice little dinner. It was very strange because it was kind of a weird in between. You and I had some different fare than they did, but great time. Hopped on our flight, easy little flight to Geneva, about an hour flight, simple. Landed, stayed in a Holiday Inn. Yeah. That night, crashed. Very small hotel. Anthony, I remember waking up the next morning going like, oh my gosh, we're in Switzerland. It is beautiful.
So the thing I want to say about our hotel stays along this whole journey was it was probably the most, I don't want to say insecure, but
no, the first 6 days was very difficult.
The entire trip on that front-loaded, that first 2/3 of the trip was spent almost every night being at a different hotel. Not every case,
it was every night.
A different one.
We stayed in the Netherlands for one night in one hotel. So then we stayed in Switzerland in 3 different hotels.
Yes. So what I wanted to stress here was, even though it was the same one twice,
But it was
3
separate days.
The hard part was you could never really settle in anywhere.
Yeah.
So you always felt more tired because you always felt like, well, I can't unpack these bags too much because I'm just going to have to repack everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And we may not come back here before it's time to just grab it and go. So there was a lot of just kind of like never quite settling in as much as you wanted to. You always felt like we're just going to have to move again. It was great fun, but at the same time, it was something taxing on the mind, just that insecurity of like constantly feeling
the
like
hard
you have
part
to
was that it
keep
was
resetting.
The hard part was that it was we'd get to the hotel by 11 o'clock or midnight every night, and then we'd check out at 7 or 8 a.m. the next morning. So
Yeah.
So we landed in Switzerland. We got to see how beautiful it was. We did some sightseeing while we were there. And then, again, three separate hotels. But then catch a flight a few days later to London. Now, that flight, easy, simple flight, had no issues getting through Swiss customs, catching our flight in the morning. Early morning flight, mind you, to Heathrow. When we landed in Heathrow, who is there to pick us up but Mr. Jack Kavanaugh himself? Jack picked us up.
Yes.
We went and got ourselves some breakfast. He took us to a great restaurant / hot tub cellar.
One of my favorite highlights of the whole trip.
Home and Eat.
Home and Eat.
And
What
it literally was, he goes, this is a
of
great
things.
breakfast joint, but they also sell hot tubs. And we were like, what? And we walk in, and I kid you not, there was like 8 hot tubs sitting there and a bunch of tables to eat breakfast
It was
at.
a very strange
They
experience.
also had a stage.
Because they
had live
like
music.
they did performances or
Yeah.
something. So it was like going into, like you said, they said it used to be a mattress factory or something.
Like an actual factory.
So very big, lots of like natural light pouring in. But when you walk in the front, you realize, oh, I'm up on a platform and I have to go way down. So it's like built into a
it's a
hill.
loading dock.
So it's all very interestingly built.
It was
but
sweet.
There were hot tubs for sale. There was thrift everything, like all the
Well,
chairs.
it was all, everything was for sale.
Yeah, all the
Like, you
chairs,
could buy
all the
stuff to
tables,
decorate your house.
all the wall art, all the there were so many chandeliers. Just all that stuff had a price written on it, so people could just buy them and they just pull it off the wall. Here you go. Okay, thanks for the money. Moving on. We're gonna put something new there now.
Yeah, would
It's
you like that on the
fascinating.
same bill as your eggs? Yes, please.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask everybody right now, if we put a little video on the podcast channel, would you like to see
They would
a
like
little
to see it.
something that we concocted while we were in the store waiting for
It's
our Uber?
inevitably, yes.
We did
Yes.
make a video that was actually had way too
While we
much
were at home to
thought
eat.
and effort put into it.
It's Dane's
and
favorite
no one
video.
will ever watch.
It's Dane's favorite
It's a great
video we
video.
shot.
Five
So,
people will watch it, but
stay
to them
tuned.
it'll be the best thing they've ever seen.
But Jack picked us up. We had a delicious breakfast.
English
breakfast.
Double
English is.
The food was good. That's the most important part.
Dane got to try some black pudding. I ordered some.
Sick.
It
I
was
was not gonna
absolutely
try it
delicious.
again.
I was thankful to have it back. Then
Licking
we
a
headed
crusty
to.
penny.
But then we headed to Jack's place, and we headed to Stjarna Glass headquarters. We spent the day. It was probably the best weather we'd had. It was warm.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous out.
Yeah.
Jeff took that time to take a very long nap.
He was asleep in the car.
He was the
Wow.
dad
He
in
was-
the
he was
car.
the dad
I thought
sleeping.
for
Took
sure
a nap
he
in
was
the
going
car.
to bake in there, man. It was a
was a
black car
perfect-
with black interior.
Now he had the windows down, had a beautiful breeze.
He had windows
That
down. He had his
sun
sunglasses on.
was
He was in
searing.
heaven.
He was, and it was really nice.
It
'Cause
was.
He had no sun on him, and he just had a beautiful breeze. He's like, the birds are chirping, the breeze is going.
There were a lot
I'm
of birds. The
enjoying
birds
it.
are big, dude.
We,
So we
my
we
God,
spent the day
So big.
shooting a Wash Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
on the Saab.
Yeah. So I mean, really going there and seeing where Jack shoots everything. It was definitely like impressive to see how well Jack does, because in that space there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff going on.
When you see it in person, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, those are 2 working bay doors. There's lots of stuff happening.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's able to get out there and shoot those videos, he just does a really good job. And it was just cool seeing the facility, getting a tour around, being able to check out how the bottling is done, how the actual blending is done of the chemicals, and seeing the how they have the whole. They have an extra unit that is all the chemistry bay. It's the lab is what they have over there, and then they had the bottling, and then they had the main facility and.
A lot of people walking by too.
A lot of people. There's a train station close by, but it's kind of cool because in that complex there's also another detailing shop that's there,
literally across the street.
Yeah, but it was just cool, man. Pulling the Saab out, and then just me and Jack just kind of BSing, and then just getting ready to watch this thing, and it was pretty cool. Like I definitely would.
It was a
say,
good day. It was a great day.
It was a great day. The only thing that would have made that better is if we had some sandwiches.
Yeah, we didn't eat. So we had that big breakfast about 11 o'clock, but then we didn't eat till
like 6 or 7.
Oh, it was almost 8 o'clock by the time we ate. So
the car was rowdy.
We were hurting. But he took us back to the hotel. We were able to change, hopped in his car. He ran to his house, changed real quick.
Saw the M3 in person.
Got to see the M3 in person, got to see Jack's house. And then we headed to dinner. Dinner was exquisite.
Oh my God,
that was amazing. We ate in Hartford.
Turkish restaurant?
And it was a
Turkish
restaurant in
which
Hartford.
Apparently there's a very large Turkish community. Pretty much all of Europe. There's Turkish barbers. There's Turkish everything.
He was very interested.
But this
in
was
Turkish
a delicious.
Well, because his wife is from the Mediterranean. His wife is Greek, right? But she likes a lot of that, type of food. But this particular restaurant, you walk in, very high end.
Yeah,
it was very nice.
There's a sweet bike the second you walk in the door.
Yeah, you walk in the door. There's like a motorcycle right there. But I think the thing about that was not only the food. You guys would have to see a picture of the kebab.
Of the ambiance.
The kebab that I got was like, oh my God.
You got 3 things in one.
Yeah.
plate.
I got a chicken and steak, and you got a 3.
Did you know that was the first and only meal that I couldn't finish on that trip?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was the first thing that filled me up, and
I had to eat some of that. I ate some of your meat, and I ate some of Dane's meat,
I was
too.
shamed.
Yeah.
I was like, how could I?
I lost a lot of respect for you and your capability of eating.
How did
delicious.
Anthony not
You only
finish
ate
a
some
meal?
of mine because I offered it. In
Yeah,
my
but
case, I was eating. I ate the whole thing.
You did a good job,
happy
Dane.
with
I was
it.
proud of you. You ate all your meal.
Yeah, that's
But,
right. I was sharing it because it was so good. I wanted you guys to experience.
So my favorite part about the entire restaurant, though, was the bathroom.
The bathrooms were exquisite.
Because I said, "Hey, where's the bathroom, Jack?" Jack goes,
"We should have sent Nick some videos. We'll probably do it on our Thursday Q&A.
That is not okay. Don't be walking around just filming bathrooms.
Oh, no, that's fine, Dane. I haven't done
nothing
before.
wrong with that.
So what I like though is that he was like, "Hey, walk that way. There's a red door." And I go, "A red door." So I walk through this area. I'm kind of like, and it's all Turkish themed. It's all dark, and there's like dance music in the background, and I have a trance, like old brick everywhere. And I'm looking around. I'm like, red door, and I turn. I'm like, I don't see a red door. I just see a wall here, right? And I'm like, there is a thing shaped kind of like a door, but that's part of the wall, right? And then like I look over, and the waiter looks at me, and he goes. And I'm like, what is that? Like, what is he doing with his hands, right? I'm like, is he using the force on me? Right. Mm-hmm. And he goes, and I walk over this red wall, this red piece of the wall, and I say, "Shut up, dude. There's no way, right?" Put my hand on it, push forward, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a door,
like an Indiana Jones
in the wall." Door. I'm like, this is crazy.
And then it goes to a basement.
And then I walk down, and it's like torches leading you down this like all cobblestone.
It's like a catacomb.
Insane.
Like it was a catacomb, and I'm like, what in the actual hell is this? But I walk down there, and I'm like, they're burning incense down here. And I'm like, I love this. So I go down, there's like blue lights and flames everywhere. And I'm like, this is the coolest experience ever. And so I walk down, and I turn into the bathroom, and it's like marble, and they have all this stuff. And I'm like really into it.
You're excited.
I'm like getting kind of like not turned on, but I'm like, this is exciting me, right?
You're euphoric.
I didn't know like this Turkish bathroom would do this to me, right?
Who knew?
So just imagine if I went to like a true Turkish bathhouse, right? That would really tie everything together. But then I opened up one of the bathroom stalls, and I look in there, and dude, I have a photo on my phone. You guys have to see it eventually. It is a throne room of like the way everything is shaped.
I feel like you need to send it to Nick right now as I take over the story.
I don't.
It was. You need to find it and send it to Nick.
Dude, it was insane. It was just so nice.
It was beautiful. And Anthony comes back from the bathroom and he's like, "Oh my gosh, guys!" And we're like, "Really that good?" And he's like, this is my new favorite place." And so we continue to eat. We have a few drinks.
It's kind of what it feels
people
like,
walking
Jake.
by. The town was busy, and the reason was it was the Queen's Jubilee. So it was a Thursday night, and Thursday and Friday were days off. They were bank holidays. Thursday, Friday, and Monday were bank holidays for the Queen's birthday, the Jubilee weekend. So the whole town was alive. So it was really cool. We're sitting, eating, laughing, telling stories with Jack, and we're seeing all the people just walking up and down the streets and stopping at all the restaurants and bars. So it was very lively, and that was probably the coolest thing. But each one of us had to take a turn to check out the bathrooms.
When we were walking to the restaurant, there was also a fun little thing that happened where, of course, we're all kind of coordinated in our Dixons,
of course.
right?
We got our Dixon flannels.
We got the look. We got and as we're walking
a drunk
along,
gentleman.
There was a rather
liking your shirts, boys.
Warmed up fella and your inebriated guy. Walking around, and he looked over and what did he say? Like nice.
He said
flannels
nice shirts, mates.
He was just like, yeah, nice shirt, mate. And he's looking at it, and it was just like, oh, okay. He
and we're like,
the shirt.
thanks.
And then when you responded, thanks, he heard the accent.
He goes, "Are you American?"
"Oh, you bunch of Yanks!"
Came over and gave us a hug.
Boys,
come here and give us a cuddle.
And
it's like, oh my
god, oh wow, this is very, very, very nice here.
Yeah,
and
no,
Jack's like,
Jack's
pretty much told us, he's like, yeah, we're in that area where we're out of any touristy place. So like, if anybody,
so if they see you and they hear you, you're actually exotic here.
You're genuinely excited. However, that town we were in, which is closest to Jack's town,
cool.
I would like to spend more time there.
That was pretty.
Like,
it was very
because it was pretty, but like,
place.
I want to go to like a couple of the bars. Like, I want to go check out the bars. Maybe eat at the Turkish place again, because it seemed like that area of town was very much like a take your wife out to a nice date, or go on a date and go out for dinner, go out to a bar, go out to whatever,
clubs or bars,
and that's the vibe I got. I'm like, man, we should really experience that someday.
It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But it would have been fun to do that.
Pretty
stuff
cool.
Too.
So we ended up going back to the
hotel.
Right?
Really.
Which at this point we were staying by the airport.
We were at the Holiday Inn in Bishop Stortford.
Now this was not my favorite hotel.
No, this hotel had one thing that was going well for it: a large lobby, and a convenience store across the street. However, again, not large rooms.
Lady behind the desk wasn't particularly
We're in
nice
twin beds. We're in twin beds for the majority of this trip. And again, we're only here for one night, right? We were only there for that Thursday night.
Well, we were told we couldn't check in for a while,
Correct.
so we had to kind of like hover around, and they had to take our bags. Like, oh, we'll just look after him for you, since you don't have to haul them around all the way. So that's okay. So you put him in this closet.
Yeah, it was the OnlyFans closet.
Yeah, we called it the OnlyFans closet because it literally was just full of fans.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that was
closet
in it.
only had fans in it. So,
yeah.
Anyway, we stayed at the hotel. It was fine. Next morning, got up, had breakfast, and that was kind of our off day. That day was going to be our day to kind of just chill out. All we had to do was get to Coventry. Yeah. So it wasn't too bad. So we So we headed out. We stopped at the gas station, grabbed some snacks after we checked out. We kind of posted up there.
Yeah.
And we thought, God, we need to get to this.
Really quick, though, I did send those pictures
Did you?
to Nick.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I sent them to him on Slack, so whenever he wants to throw up one of the toilet photos, or like, this was just the toilet. I didn't get the whole bathroom.
Yeah.
There's some things I did not take pictures of.
I got a video of the whole bathroom.
You got a video of the whole bathroom? Okay, I didn't get a video of the whole bathroom, but I did. All I got was the
toilet is
I feel like
and
that's
the
just
kebab.
some kind of violation of
So
something.
Nick, if you could,
Dane, I
if you
think
could
it's
tell us if you got that,
completely
that'd be
natural
great.
for what we do here on this podcast.
But yeah, so we hopefully Nick will pull that up if he can get it. But basically, we just had to chill out. We had to get to Coventry, and so I started doing a little. I hadn't bought our tickets yet for this part of the trip, the train trip, and so I spent the morning kind of doing a little research, looking for that because I'd done the research previous. The problem was we're in Jubilee weekend, and I'm hearing that it's very hard. Because they are shutting certain parts of the underground down.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it going, dang it, every route I'm looking at takes us straight back down into London.
Kind of limited.
It takes us south. and then back up.
It's
north.
just adding a lot of extra time.
Right.
That you don't
And I'm looking at the map
need.
going, we're here, Coventry's here. I just need something to go like just this way. And everything I'm seeing is doing this J. And I'm like, man, this is going to be hard. So we head over, we go decide, let's go grab some lunch before we leave, right? Take an Uber. We go back to the home to eat, have ourselves another round of lunch.
It was so good. We went again.
Delicious.
And that's when we shot the video that I think only 5 people will watch, but they will love.
And then I noticed, I was like, oh, I've got a route. I figured out the route. There's
one more thing. You guys were good Samaritans. I don't want to let this get overlooked.
Okay.
When we were at the convenience store,
that's
from the
right.
hotel, I filmed, but you guys actually helped.
I think
the
it's
guy.
because we were good Samaritans that route opened up.
I
for
think
us.
that's what happened.
Train
So
out.
Anthony, please explain.
Oh, I think that happened. I think that none of us got COVID, so that was great.
too.
But that's why we do good things.
Yeah.
But no, me and Levi were. It was actually all 3 of us. We were walking over to the convenience store just to go grab some snacks because I said, guys, I can't
ride on a train for 3 hours.
I can't keep going with no like snack food. So I need protein bars, I need gummies, and I need probably something, right? Energy drink. So we're on our way over there. We walk across the street, and there's a dude on a Kawasaki ZX6R. It's a green Kawasaki, probably
just kind of struggling.
maybe 2005, 2006. And he's sitting there, and he's shaking his head on his bike, right? Bike's not on. He's trying to turn out. And he's just like, dang it. You can tell like something's going on.
Battery's dead.
So I said, what's going on, man? He's like, my battery's dead. I just replaced it. I don't know what's going on. My bike's not starting. And I was like, oh, well, do you want us to push start you? And he's like, huh? Like what? I'm like, yeah. Do you want us to like take you around the back of this building here, and
we're gonna
push you on your motorcycle?
Ah.
2 guys come from the back, right? And
at first he's a little alarmed because you don't have an accent like he's expecting. So,
but then I told him, I said, hey man, I'm like, I've been through this before. I can tell we can get it started. So he's like, all right, thanks. So we wheel it to the back there. And he's never done this before. So I told him, I'm like, kick it up into like 4th gear. And so he kicks up in like 4th gear, bike's off. Ted said, keep your ignition on, keep everything on here. What I'm going to do is we are going to literally push you, right? We're going to go fast. We're going to run with you. You're going to hold in the clutch. And then right when I tell you, drop the clutch. It's going to start back up, pull the clutch back in again. It should be good to go. He's like, all right, I think I got it. So me and Levi, we started pushing. I'm going. Drops the clutch, thing starts right up, and we're like, yes.
And I got video of the whole thing, so you guys will be able to see that soon.
Yes, we did it. And dude was pumped, man.
He was like shaking his fist in the air as he rode away. He was so excited.
I'm like, don't turn off that bike again.
No. Don't stop anyway.
Keep it going all the way till you get home. So, but yeah, it was a good Samaritan.
Someone out there.
So
had a
then we
good
went and got
day
lunch at
out of
home
a bad
and
day.
eat. There's the bathroom. There you go, everybody.
Man,
Feast your eyes on that.
So that was just one of the toilets.
That was a
right?
toilet stall.
That was a toilet stall, and I just absolutely love the
Truly
canisters,
catacombs.
the blue light. I mean, it's
pretty spectacular.
I just absolutely loved it. And then if we can get a picture of the kebab here, that you'll see.
There was Anthony's
this
delicious
is my
dinner.
kebab plate.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was disappointed that I
Note
could
the,
not.
like alligator skin table.
Dude, looking at that, I am starving again.
It's so good.
Like,
That food
I
is amazing.
Like, do you know of any good place where we can get some good
No.
Turkish food?
No.
Kebabs.
Me either.
Anyway, yeah. So as we're sitting on the at home and eat, I figured out the train schedule. I figured out the train place or the station to go to. So I got us an Uber. We headed to the train station. I had ordered the tickets, got it all paid for all the tickets while we were standing in the parking lot waiting for the Uber. We got to the train station, hopped on the train, and it was perfect because we had no stops. Realistically, we only had a couple changeovers, 2 changeovers, I think, was it, and we made it to Coventry. Right into the Coventry Arena.
We've been filming all of the English countryside.
Yeah.
These ladies sitting next to us are like, do you guys not have a countryside where you're from?
Like,
It's not the
where
same.
you're from?
It's
And we're
not
like,
the
"Yeah,
same.
It's not the same. All of our stuff is dead. dead, boring, dry.
We're in the high desert.
We live in the
high
desert, man.
Plateaus.
And they're like, oh,
we
that's
explained that, and
interesting.
then they kind of got
But,
it.
we
they were
ended
nice.
up. So we ended up actually taking the train right to the Coventry Arena.
Yeah.
We
Right,
got
dropped
out.
us off in the parking lot.
Jeff wanted us to film a little video, like a Rocky style video,
going
of us
up the
climbing the
steps
steps and then celebrating. And at that point, we were just kind of done with traveling.
We were so tired.
We just
so
wanted-
Friday was I didn't realize because that was kind of our halfway point.
Yeah.
Like we had all the craziness prior to that with multiple different hotels and only staying in a late to late kind of thing. Get in late, wake up early. So we were exhausted. Friday was our first real just chill, don't have to do nothing. And that's when we made it to the Coventry Arena.
Yes.
And that was going to be our home for the next 3 days
Yeah.
and our largest hotel room of the entire trip.
Finally, a place you can actually unpack, stop, relax,
Spread
a little.
out a little,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
because our room is massive.
Yeah.
So we get to the DoubleTree. We walk up. Jeff then pays or gets his check-in for his room. I get mine. The best part is they're having a really hard time trying to figure out how to do the rooms. And while Jeff is trying to deal with this, the other guy goes, "Oh, what's your name?" I said, "My name's Levi Gates." And he goes, "That man is a Hilton Honors Silver member. We need to I'm going to handle him personally."
Yeah, handle him. We'll get him sparkling water or still.
Still
and you're like,
I'll
okay,
take sparkling.
Sparkling, please. He's like, in your warm cookies, sir.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, thank you.
It was great because he handed me two, and Jeff was standing there going, "I didn't get my water or cookies," and he goes, "Oh, well, that's because he's this Honors Silver Rewards member," and Jeff goes, "Well, I'm a member," and he goes, "Well, I'm sorry, sir, you didn't add your number and information."
Just like I paid for everything that got him to these points.
This guy's
So
just
the guy
reaping the
hands
rewards.
Jeff one bottle and one cookie. So I'm sorry, Dane, that you missed out on that.
Yeah.
But,
So that was just for the people at home wondering. That was a good 20 minutes
It
of
was
back
so-
and forth.
so the problem
between
was-
my dad and the guy at the front desk over a very simple concept,
Yeah.
and you could see the other guy at the front desk was just like,
Yeah. So the rooms were paid for with the Amex on an Amex.
yeah,
But
one card.
they needed an incidental card. And your dad handed them the Visa to put that on. But they basically charged all the rooms onto the Visa.
which is not
It
what he
was-
wants.
It was such a stressful
It was a mess, but we
and
can
it was
move
just a
past.
back and
I don't
forth
want to
blip,
relive
yeah.
that.
But
I
it was
hate
good.
thinking about those 20
Yeah.
minutes.
It hurts
so,
my brain.
So
We ended
anyway,
up-
point was it was hilarious that I was the Hilton Honors member. But we made it up to our rooms.
massive rooms, right? As usual, basically.
Because you're on the
uh,
outside of the pizza.
The arena has these dude, there's so much room for activities. Me and Levi literally, we were flinging off our pants the second we walked in the room. We were throwing
Farting.
We
Started farting.
So we're flinging off our pants. We're
Both were
we're throwing our suitcases.
It was so weird.
And we were just we are so happy to be in a room for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
This
Let's
feels
stink it
so
up.
nice. And so
Mark Miller's sense.
I automatically had to go view the bathroom to make sure everything looked good.
Yeah,
And
it was our
Still
kickstart.
got a jump
It was
start.
our kickstart
it was our
toilet.
two-stroke.
Two-stroke kickstart.
Better than a kickstart.
But so after that, though, I want to say we checked in, we hung
cleaned up.
out,
Yeah.
cleaned up, and then that was when we got invited down to the casino area of the arena, which you guys will see some footage.
We were having
of that.
dinner with everybody, and that's where we
where-
ran into Alan. Was there,
And
so
then
we
it was
got
a
to
more
see Alan.
casual.
Yeah,
Alan-
Rennie and Bob were there.
Alan, Mike Phillips, Rennie and Bob. We had John Hull. We had the
Harry housewife was
we had
there.
Dom. We had
By the
Harry
way, super
housewife.
nice guy. I was glad to
Darren,
meet him.
yeah. That's great.
We had a good crew there, and so we just
John
had a
Hull, yeah.
quick little dinner.
Yeah.
Now, what was blowing me away was when I was looking at the menu. I was like, K-Cal. A K-Cal technically is the same as a normal calorie, right? Because the calories are read differently sometimes depending on the labels, right? So I'm like, okay, K-Cal's here. I'm like looking at this chicken sandwich, this whatever. No, it wasn't peri-peri. It was like some type of chicken sandwich. I'm like, 2,500 calories?
That looks insane. You're just
And
like,
a chicken sandwich meal? I'm like, what in the actual heck? And so
I would expect
we
that.
all ordered some random food. We had some good conversations. Just kind of hung out there, had some drinks, and it was just kind of good to catch up with everybody. And then it was also Yancey was there
I was
too.
just saying, halfway through, Mike and Yancey came and sat down. Mike sat next to me. Yancey sat next to you, I think.
Yeah.
And first things first, Mike didn't even say hi to me. He's just like, hey, you got a knife?
Yeah.
And I was like, and he's just like, Yeah, so I hold up a butter knife. It goes, I need something sharper. So I was like, okay.
So UK doesn't leave sharp objects on tables.
No,
yeah, so not so
there's
much.
a lot of stabbings.
So I was just like, sorry, Mike, I don't have anything sharper than that butter knife. He's like, maybe I'll give it a try. And so he pulls out from his bag this bottle, this small bottle, and it has a spider on it. Not a real spider, but like a plastic spider as decorative. And he was very careful to point out, it's like, all right, I need to be able to get the lid off this thing, cut the seal. He goes, but I don't want to hurt the spider. I want to preserve the spider. It's just like,
it's a hot sauce.
It's a hot sauce bottle. And whew.
No, my favorite though was Mike Phillips' line of, this is how I've been fighting COVID.
Yeah.
That was an interesting choice.
It was whenever he gets a little congestion, he takes this, and that's
clears
it up.
So we sampled a little bit on our plate to like stick French fry in that, kind of thing.
He was really nice with the hot sauce. He told me that he brings the hot sauce everywhere with him because he just hates he likes hot sauce.
He likes a little flavor.
Right?
He originally used to hate it, and then he said he grew to love it after kind of forcing himself in a situation.
So he's got I don't know how many different hot sauces. This one had a spider on it. I'm like, he's like, try it. He's like, it's not that crazy. And dude, I tried it, and I was like, holy
it was crazy by my standards,
dude.
That's for sure.
Freaking insanely hot.
We're at least in the low 100,000, maybe high
Scoville,
80, 90,000 Scoville.
It's pretty wild.
It's up there. It's not the million stuff or whatever, but it was enough.
But we had that, and I mean, so we had a little bit of that, and that was the end of that night. So then we went back to bed. Next morning was Saturday, which was the morning I've been looking forward to the entire time.
Yeah.
We started with a delicious breakfast there
at the hotel,
DoubleTree, and from there we got to
grabbed an Uber,
took an Uber to
Hinckley.
Yes,
Hinckley,
about 15 minutes away.
Now, what's in Hinckley?
Anthony, why don't you take this one?
So Hinckley is home of Triumph. It even says it on the.
When you pull into the town.
Home of Triumph
thing about
motorcycles.
Yeah.
And so this has been on my bucket list for pretty much ever. I've always wanted to do this. And I had no idea that Hinckley was so close to Coventry.
Yeah,
it was literally, dude, like it was about about a month before we left.
Yeah, about a month
I was just curious. I'm like, how far is Hinckley from Coventry? 20 minutes. Then I'm like, if we don't go to this, I will leave. I will go on my own. I will do it. So we signed up for the Triumph Factory tour, and we showed up to the front doors, and it's everything you expect it to be. You're greeted with motorcycles. You're greeted with a history. You're greeted with famous bikes from movies, Mission Impossible, 007. They have their own cafe there where literally riders would be. People just cruising around the country.
They go for a ride and then come have lunch.
Ride to Triumph.
That parking lot was full of bikes.
Go have lunch. Go have a coffee. Check some stuff out. Get back on the road. And I'm like, wow.
That's your place.
I want this. I want this where I live. But, it is what it is. So we signed up for the tour. I got to check out the Triumph bathrooms, right?
Yep.
I had to get a couple pictures of them for myself, just because I could say, "Hey, Triumph," right?
Yeah.
But we did the factory tour. It was
here's the crazy thing.
Impressive.
Yeah. We get ready for the tour.
Yeah.
We get ready for the tour.
Yeah.
Anthony is in the presence of greatness, arguably.
Yeah.
So he is a little heightened, almost nervous. Dad, baby's going to be born any minute now. Kind of doesn't know what's going on. It was funny to see how excited you were to be on this.
Yeah.
Like that, I think was my most.
I was pumped because they were like, "All right, we're starting the tour." I'm like, "Wait, I got to buy a water bottle. I'm thirsty."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Let me get a water.
Yeah.
Don't leave without me."
Yeah, it was great to see. But here's the crazy thing: while we're standing there, the gentleman Peter, the tour guide,
he
tells
great.
us. Because the holiday weekend, we had a hydraulic hose explode, and we have a massive leak in the main manufacturing facility. We almost canceled the tour this morning.
There was a strong likelihood they were going to just
we were gonna cancel it. And then here's the other thing. Today is the last day we're doing tours until October.
Yeah.
So this was literally the last day we could even go, and they had thought about canceling that day. So serendipitous, really, that we were able to get there.
We lucked out
be able to
much.
Be able to have that day there.
Dude,
and it was on the one non-busy day of our whole schedule.
Yeah.
While we were
it was
UK
very lucky. I was like, I would have been devastated if we got there and they said sorry, but I still would have made it work.
Yeah.
But like the fact that we were able to get the tour.
It was a 2-hour factory tour.
2-hour
very
tour,
substantial.
and the guy was very thorough. The thing is no video, no photo.
Yeah, not allowed to take it during the tour. I was able to take stuff in like the halls outside, like in the exhibits
nothing
and
inside
stuff.
the factory.
But the actual factory, I got nothing from in there. All I want to say is it was impressive the level of detail they actually got into on the tour, because normally you expect kind of like surface level stuff, but you guys got into it.
We got a
no,
lot.
dude. I
We got
mean,
a
they
lot.
talk
Really
about
in-depth
hardware,
stuff. Very
casting,
impressive.
painting,
The actual-
polishing.
yeah.
Pinstriping. I mean, like they literally walk us through pretty much start to finish on how a motorcycle is built, and I am just I think I'm mainly impressed by the quality of materials, everything that goes into the fact that everything is still done by hand.
Really made me want to buy a Triumph.
Was like
going through there.
I'm like,
Painting was awesome because it was automated, but it was still it was still done by a person with a gun.
There's a
in
human
their hand.
element in every.
yeah.
and
They
a
said
paintbrush,
there's a human
yeah.
element to every single process,
And they're
whether
able
it's-
to intervene at any point if something.
They
doesn't
said
seem
casting, cleaning, everything like that. So, but we did the tour, and I think what biggest takeaway me and Levi loved is we love seeing how the painting was done, learning about how they do custom colors and how they're doing like paint to match certain things, and how they do their decals, because that was one of those things I always was curious on how they cleared over their decals, and they talked about how they did that. They have 6.5 pinstripers.
6.5 pinstripers, which is crazy.
Where'd the half come from again?
It was a newbie.
It was a newbie, yeah. So
They're in like a probationary period kind of
but
thing.
these pinstripers, that's literally all they do. They pinstripe wheels, they pinstripe tanks, they pinstripes. They do hand painted everything, and it's crazy because I have a lot of my bike is special because it's one of those limited kind of things, right? Where they in the brochure it talks about all these hand done factory things, which never made sense to me. I was always like, oh yeah, hand laid pinstriping on the wheels. What is that? What does that even mean, right? And then I see it and I go, wow, that's amazing, right? Yeah. And then we find out that one of the pinstripers that he had this brush that was like his favorite brush and the brush he did the best work with, and come to find out that brush was made from his daughter's first haircut.
Yeah.
Or his granddaughter's.
Yeah,
his
the
granddaughter's.
The bristles were made.
The bristles
it's a
were
little
made
creepier
from.
if you say he uses a brush made from human hair.
No,
But
it really was.
It really was. Though.
And so you're like, what the heck?
Because everybody's like, your brush is weird. Your brush is different. What's the story with that thing?
But that, and then the other most impressive thing, which made me want to buy another Triumph motorcycle, is like they said that their Daytona, they're most proud of their Moto 2 engine. It's the Daytona 765 motor, or just their 765 motor in general. They said that the testing for that motor, they run it at 14,000 RPM, right? Pinned for, was it 40 hours?
Something like
it
that.
was
crazy.
It was multiple
red line
days
for 40
almost.
hours.
It was like it was like red line for 40
Longer than a
hours.
day at least.
They said they have to like, it's like the whole engine is glowing, but they do it just to see if it'll still run, and then they break it apart after it's still running. They break it apart to see how everything looks. And I'm like, dude.
And then you just work a reinforcing
it's
stuff.
Insane.
It's like,
red line.
I'm sure they're not the only people to do that, but when you watch it in that moment, you're like, I trust these guys more than.
Yeah, it really does build a lot of trust within the brand.
It did a lot.
But they did say though that, and this is where I'm kind of call myself an elitist here in the Triumph world. I love the idea of the Triumphs being made in Hinckley.
Yeah.
At that factory, right? I know my bike was made in Hinckley at that factory, but they now have 3 other factories. I think it's like one in
Taiwan,
one in
Panama,
Taiwan,
and then there's one in like
Mexico,
South America,
South America somewhere. But they have 3 major factories that they change the production of bikes. So you might have a bike that's made in this country for 5 months, then it switches to this country for 5 months. They cycle through. So if it was my opinion, I would say I'd want to buy a bike that I know was made at that factory.
Yeah, because you've been to it.
Yeah, just because.
To their credit, though, they made sure they showed that they had quality control and everything.
Oh yeah, but super cool. So highly recommend going to it if you're ever over there and you want to go just see what mass scale production looks like. You won't be able to see it until October.
Yeah, for those wondering, Coventry's only it's probably 15 minutes from Birmingham.
Yeah.
So there's an airport in and out. And so in reality, you're 35, 40 minutes from from that factory.
Yeah,
So,
and we went and after that we went to the gift shop. We took a bunch of photo and video. Went to the gift shop, and then we got
some shirts.
Got some shirts.
You had the guy behind the desk working hard,
dude. Well, because the guy's
excited
like,
to do it.
yeah, he was having fun though.
He was like,
great.
"Wait, you're from where in the U.S.?" I'm from Boise, and he's like, "Can you love Triumphs?" I'm like, "I love Triumphs," and he's like, "Okay, here's some stuff you'll never be able to get." He's like, "Here's a special edition pin. It's like a prototype. You'll never get that." He's like, "Here's a neck, like a neck guard." He's like, "You'll never be able to get that." Now, the thing that I was bummed about, I love my jersey. I love my 2XL shirt, right? Guys, I'm not a 2XL. I'm an XL. But their shirts fit.
They're a little tight.
European, right?
Yeah.
My XL I got. I went to go wear that this morning, and I was like,
yeah. I pulled mine out of the wash last night, and Carly and I test fit them to make sure, and I was like, they still fit. Thank goodness.
My XL is a little tight, and I'm like,
I can't wait to find out my 2XL is just like...
Yeah, but I'll make it work. I don't care. I love being able to pick up stuff there, and that was just really cool. So I want to thank Jeff for allowing us to have time to be able to do it, and Levi for putting it in the schedule, because that was very...
It was perfect. It was what we needed.
Yeah.
We all enjoyed it too. It wasn't just Anthony's
and it
thing.
Also,
we all loved it.
But it reset us, right? It was kind of a nice reset to where we were like, wow, that was cool. And then we headed back to the thing.
The Uber ride back was exciting.
The Uber ride back, we were in a kind of a beat up Ford Fusion that was creaking a lot with the three of us back there.
We were testing the limits
and
of
the guy
suspension.
was flying. He was hauling butt. We kept thinking we're going to blow tires.
And he had a low pressure light on his dash.
Yeah.
The entire time.
But anyway, we got back to the Coventry Arena. And then we went down, and it was afternoon. It was about 1:30, 2 o'clock. And so we got to say hi to everybody and see some of the folks that were setting up and actually hang out and say hello to people. And spend the day spend the rest of the day just kind of hanging out, saying hello.
Yeah.
That's when we caught up with Jack. We grabbed some snacks. We went and had lunch with Bob at the pub right there in the hotel.
Yeah.
Ate, and then we had dinner at 7.
That's the pre-show dinner.
8 o'clock. Dinner was at 7 or 8. Anyway.
Industry dinner.
Yeah, it was our trade show dinner.
Yeah.
And so we all went upstairs, got changed, got dressed. Me and the boys were decked out in Dixons and jeans for the event.
We looked good.
Yeah. We looked good. We came in true stunners.
Yeah.
I was just tired, man.
Yes.
It was tired.
We had the dinner, and then we which was it was not as good as the year before, the food wise, but it was still good.
Thank you, Jack, for getting that all squared away for us.
But we sat with Jack, got to sit with Tassif, who's one of our grand ambassadors, his wife, and we all had to joke around and talk a lot. But when they let us go out to the casino,
it was weird this year.
It was weird this year because I think there wasn't as many.
Here's what happened.
The rules for getting into the casino have changed.
Yeah. So in years past,
new management.
They let us in, and at the door they just hand you the card for a free bet.
Yeah, like
right here you go. Here's your free bet, and they would just funnel everybody out.
Yeah.
This year, they had to take each table individually, take them in, escort them out of the casino, and back up to the check-in desk, and then you had to check in the casino and come back down to hang out. So it was very awkward and weird. So it took a lot longer, and a lot of people were like, man, we're already done with dinner, and they hadn't started the process. So that was the only thing that was very cluttered. So
strange.
But we did it. So by the time we got back down, we grabbed our drinks and just started hanging out. And the rest of the night was just hanging out, talking, catching up with folks. Alan and I both got stuck with gentlemen who were arguing against the IDA. And that was one of those, I look over at Alan and he's getting his ear chewed off and I'm getting my ear chewed off. And it was like, oh my gosh. But you called it an early night, about 10:30.
Well, I mean, I went and got a drink, and I was talking with Dane and Dylan. I was like, hey, let's go somewhere quiet. And the place is really cool. I mean, the casino, they did a very good job at theming it very Vegas-like. But, like, it was just all hit
still
me.
Noisy.
And I was like, dude, I'm tired. And I'm like, I can't really hold up for much longer. So I said, Dane, I said, guys, I'll see you up there. So I called an early night. I went up to the hotel, called my wife, FaceTime my baby. Yeah. And my actual baby, not my wife, but, my actual daughter. And did that. And I think I went to bed. I think I was out.
I woke up. I woke you up when I walked in.
Yeah.
But then Dane, you lasted about another half hour.
I went another half hour, 45 minutes past when he left. I made sure to get my hellos, goodbyes in, get everybody covered and stuff. It was a lot of fun, but it was one of those things where any other night, if this was just here in Boise and I could just pop out and do this, I would have stayed up late with everybody. I would have been happy to do it. But it was the trip fatigue, the other things setting in. I was like, I'm fading and it's probably no good to anybody around me. I know they want me to stay out, but it wasn't happening. Yeah. So I had a big day waiting the next day. We all did. So I just made sure, if I have to choose, I got to be on my A game tomorrow. So that was kind of
I stayed right about till midnight.
Okay, so you stayed longer.
Yeah, and then I headed up. But no, great time with everybody. Made it into the room. I called Carly while I was on my way up and just talked to the kids, see how their day was going, and then was off the phone when I walked into the room with Anthony. Then we all just went to bed.
Yeah.
Woke up the next morning and we had Waxstock. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. That was the day, Waxstock. And it was a great show, but holy cow, is it a ton for one day.
Yeah.
But awesome show. Fun to see everybody. Huge crowd. I want to know, John, if you're watching, post the numbers you know. I mean,
just as many
unbelievable
as last
show. Really great.
Biggest takeaways from Waxstock is that it is an event that products are being sold at, right? Mm-hmm. So all the vendors and all the distributors,
the morning's
and people there.
Busy.
So there's a big rush of people. There's literally lines out the door to get into the building.
They can buy the stuff.
And so everybody's typically running sales or deals. But I mean, some of the big brands that you would expect to see there. I mean, of course, there was G Technic.
3,000. There you go.
Yeah,
3,000. Pretty good.
It's good time.
But I mean, there was, let's just say, off the top of my head, G Technic, Dodo Juice. There was obviously Clean and Shiny. There was Gion. There was Sam's. There was, did I say Sternagloss?
Yeah. You hadn't.
Or Sternagloss. And then IK was actually there with a different team from the Basque Country. And then they also had, come on, what else? I mean,
there was a lot. 3D.
There was
Autobright,
Soft 99 was there.
Color Lock, Soft 99. McGuire's
Garage
UK,
Therapy,
Garage Therapy,
Juicy Details.
Juicy were really nice guys. It was fun to.
There
was a lot. There was a lot. Labo.
Fresso was very interesting.
Fresso was there.
Fresso.
There was, and we walked around. So our typical Waxstock plan is basically go see a bunch of people, go talk to a bunch of people if we can, check out products, right, and just kind of show face in the booths. I honestly. Yeah. It's not even if it's a competitor, me showing up is a bad thing. I want to show up just to be, hey, can I smell your products? Tell me about them. Talk to me. And I just want to kind of hang out with them. And that's what I spent a lot of time doing with Dane. Me and Dane went around multiple times. We took a lot of video, did kind of a tour.
Did a live after a few rounds. We decided to make a live.
Yeah. Oh, we did a big live. And then we ran into a couple really cool car guys there. I got to see an R34 GTR. His name was Abdul. Awesome guy, dude. Yeah. Completely showed me around. That was great.
Super nice.
And then from there, there was a GR Yaris there. There was a bunch of really cool cars. The top 16 that they have for their car show, because it's a car show within a detailing expo.
I feel like on this trip, we went from never seeing a GR Yaris in our life to seeing 5 by the end of the trip.
I saw a ton.
That was a lot of fun.
But we saw a bunch of stuff, and Levi went up on stage for a little bit.
Yeah, I got up on stage and talked for a bit with Alan and Bob and Rennie and Mike Phillips. So, Scott, we've been talking about the shoes. You just seem to have come back a little late,
man.
buddy.
That was right at the beginning.
These are all thanks to Hans Closen.
We've already been talking for an hour and a half now.
Yeah, we got them on. But no, it was a really good show this year, and kudos to John and PJ and Dom for pulling off a killer show.
Well, but and then John, that being will be down to the Jubilee and still COVID stuff going on. So yeah, it was. Honestly, it didn't seem less than the years before.
It felt more packed.
It felt just as busy.
It felt just as busy, and I just want to thank everybody that's fans.
I
of
also
TRC.
like to give a big shout out to Graham Marshall for giving us a 24-pack, an advent calendar
that was so
full
cool.
of Iron Brew Extra.
Yeah, so the sugar free.
So you will be happy to know we drank that
All of it.
whole 24 pack before we
knocked
flew
that
out.
whole thing out
Yeah.
before we left.
We got
were,
it all gone.
Dude, it brought us but everybody like that showed up
Yeah.
that was fans of TRC that surprised us or was pumped to see us. And I remember there was a I went up to, it was in the Clean and Shiny booth, and there was a guy looking at, I think, like a liquidator or something like that, and I said, "Hey man, you have any questions about that towel?" And he kind of looks over at me and he goes, double takes me, and he goes, "Well, this is the weirdest feeling I've had." And I said, "What's
You
going
made some
on?"
people's
And he's
day.
like,
We're
"Well,
here."
I watched your video this morning, and now I see you here in person." And he's like, "It's just a strange feeling." And I said, "Well, happy to be here, dude.
Strange phenomenon.
Let's hang out." And so, trying to think, my favorite things there. I love talking to the Juicy Details guys. I thought it was really
They were
fun
so
smelling
nice.
all their products. They
They're
had-
playing a guessing game
they were
with
fun.
you. It was
we had like
fun.
a guessing game. We did that. I actually really I love the Fresso air fresheners.
No?
I took a lot of
I
video
do.
in the Fresso booth.
I
but that's not something
do.
we
I
really
do.
have
And
over
I was
here.
like, so I was like, I was smelling stuff, and I'm like, I should probably just buy some. So I did. So
Yeah, you
I
did.
bought some air fresheners
Bob.
and some spray stuff. And then I also really liked, let's see, I think that Soft 99 and their Glaco window coating, very cool to see that booth set up the way it was set up. That was
Yeah.
nice. Sam's killed it as usual. Every time Sam's has just an amazing
Their
aesthetic.
dancing guy in the bottle was hilarious.
Me and Bob actually cruised around
Yeah.
and we're just out like getting ideas for booths and stuff. And me and him went to the Sam's booth, and even Bob was like, "Dude, this is sweet." I'm like,
Yeah,
"I know,
smart.
Yeah.
I know, it's good vibes
Well,
here."
it was his first time there, so
Yeah.
getting to see what it's like and everything, it is different than like a SEMA or a different kind of show, because the people there are so passionate about detailing, and
Yeah.
it goes way beyond just all the other stuff. It's super focused, but it's a niche, but everybody there is pretty much there for the same thing, which does give it a different feel than these other shows. I really like that energy that it has, and I wish you could just see that expanded a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that I was when I was cruising around and kind of just talking with people, some of the people went up to me and they said, "Hey, what's SEMA like in comparison, to this, right? It's about the same." And you go, how do you answer?
It's
How do you?
so
answer?
different.
I'm like, this is a very concentrated dose of a corner of SEMA, basically. Whereas SEMA as a whole is completely like.
But I would say the people
Pretty
in that
crazy.
room are more hardcore about detailing.
Oh,
than the
absolutely.
people
Like I said,
in
it's
SEMA
it's
booths
way more
that are
concentrated.
visiting, not the people working the booths, because those people may very well be super hardcore about detailing. But the people visiting, I would say Waxstock's got them beat.
Well, yeah, no, Waxstock absolutely has a beat
Yeah.
because the audience
parking lot,
there
the cars are
understands
incredible.
what the products are there. They understand the industry.
Yeah.
But no, man, I think it was a great show. So shout out to John and Dom
Seriously.
and PJ and everybody for making that what it was, because I think it was a huge success. And again, I would love to see it be a 2-day event. I will say that until my face turns blue. But
Till
I
something
think
happens.
I think whether it's an education day or something like that, and I know logistically with the building it makes it more difficult, but
There's
maybe
expenses
there's other
involved
options
that can
down
be
the
a little
road.
tricky,
So
but yeah.
we'll have to see.
No, it was definitely fun. Then, as tradition dictates, Sunday night is the Cozy Club in Coventry. So we had quite the crew. We had Patrick and Dylan. We had there you go. We had Patrick and Dylan. We had Gumi from Iceland.
Yeah.
We
What
had
a fun
Alan.
guy.
We had Lars and Bodo and Michael. We had Jeff, and we had some other special guests.
Yeah.
But all of us, it's great. We just go. It's quiet. We have basically almost the entire club
It's okay,
to
John,
ourselves.
nobody watches this.
But we had the whole club to ourselves. Had some drinks, had some burgers, and just enjoyed.
What'd you guys
dinner.
get?
I had the burger. I was kind of bummed they changed their menu, so they got rid of
They
a lot
did
of their
change.
different flavor, their different burger styles.
I love the names of the burgers.
I love
too.
that too.
yeah.
They got rid of them, but it was fine. I still had a delicious burger. The meat was amazing. I thought the meat and the burger was probably the best I'd had on the whole trip.
They know what they're doing.
Fries were delicious.
Yep.
All in all, really good.
A treat,
Yeah.
as always.
Yeah.
Dane,
I
how
got
was
a-
your drink?
Delicious. Really
Drinks.
enjoyed the drinks.
Drinks.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I decided to pass on dessert and instead drink my calories.
I had a
Yes.
dessert.
Yeah.
It was delicious too.
What'd you
Very
eat?
good.
I think I got the steak. I think it was like a steak, like a peppercorn steak, and I had. What's funny though, prawns. What do you think of when you think of prawns?
Like a shrimp.
Yeah, a shrimp, but beefier, bigger.
Yeah, I think of a big ass shrimp, right?
Yeah.
That's king prawn.
Prawns over there is just a shrimp. It's just a shrimp. So I said, are you I'm like, I would like a steak with a side of prawns. When I think of prawns, I think of a big shrimp that's split, right? So it's big and chunky, right?
It's almost like a tiny lobster.
Dude, these shrimp were the smallest shrimp I've ever
They were
seen.
shrimps.
And I was like, wait. I paid $3. This is $3 extra for. I didn't pay, but this is $3 extra for these three prawns.
Oh, yeah, Hans was with us too. Can't forget Hans was there.
Of course.
I was sitting next to him.
Hans was there, and but no, that was a good time. So then after that, we ended up kind of splitting up. Everybody started heading back to the hotel, and then crashed. Next morning, we had a breakfast, and then we were back on the road, right?
Yeah, so we were on the Color Lock Express, as we're calling it, and that was quite the crew. Yeah. It was Lars driving his CL.
It was a GLC.
CLM or GLC AMG 63 with seating for 4 extra adults. So Jeff, Bob, Alan, and Michael hopped in with them. So the 5 of them in that car, chasing people down, doing 100 kilometers an hour down to London. Oh. We were in the V-Wagon, the Mercedes V-Wagon van with seating for 6, with Gumi and Rennie in the back.
Very comfortable.
Dane and Anthony in the middle. Myself up front with Bodo driving.
Yeah.
And
Bodo's
and
great.
we were passing the Iron Brews around between the two vehicles.
We were shotgunning.
That's when Alan was saying thank you. There's nothing more the Scotsman needs on a Monday morning than an Iron Brew.
Yeah.
We had so much fun, and it was just a blast. We drove down. We took 2 different routes from them, so we split and then landed in London.
Well, they apparently had to chase down an Audi RS7 that was wrapped all velvety, fuzzy. It looks like Vanta Black though in the videos because it's so bizarrely like antimatter looking. Yeah, going down the road, you're just like, that doesn't look right. That looks like some weird special effect. But
it was cool. Yeah. We got to London. We were all staying at the same hotel. As soon as we checked in, we were able to go up, crash for a little bit, kind of change, shower, and then John picked us up. John Holt picked us up. Him and Mandy took us on a double-decker bus tour of London at night, and that was a blast.
Because he had the one up last time. I had
so much fun, and I love that stuff. I love learning about things and history and that.
And our guide was great.
The guide was awesome. Yeah. That was really good. I think it was a perfect night. It was
good way to round it.
I'm glad I dressed warm.
Yeah, me too. It was great.
I didn't. I was so happy. It was perfect.
But beautiful. It was just fun. I thought that was a really cool thing.
I would recommend the London bus tour to anybody.
That was fun.
Just because you get to actually see how much history is there. But I mean, I don't know. Try to take as much in as you can. I was trying to take photos and videos. I'm like, dude, what am I doing? There's so much that I'm never going to show anybody this.
Even if you're the kind of person who rolls your eyes at taking a tour, which sometimes I feel that way too, this was worth it.
Yeah, no, this was awesome.
Honestly, I would say maybe take a couple of photos, take a couple of videos, but other than that, pay attention because it goes by fast.
Yeah.
But
I never knew about London being a city within a city.
Yeah.
And so that was super cool to learn. And then to see the dragons and see the different dragons around the corner, I thought that was super cool too. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Knowing whether you're coming or going.
Yeah. So I thought that was super. It was just a ton of fun stuff. It was just, and I thought our whole group, can't believe Tower Bridge was
cool too.
That was crazy. We had to wait for Tower Bridge to come back down so we could go across it. That was rad. And we got to see it up. So, so that was what we did. I forgot about that, Alan. So when we got to the hotel, before John came to pick us up, Jeff and Dane both said, we're going to go take a nap. We said, all right, have fun. So they went to go take a nap. Anthony goes, I'm starving.
Yeah.
Lars says, I'm starving.
Yeah.
Alan goes, well, gentlemen, let me tell you a little something about this place called Toby Carvery.
And then you guys
we hop in the van
about it when
and we head to Toby Carvery.
Yep. Oh man,
And it was delicious and delightful.
I didn't realize when we were just taking that nap that you guys had gone to get food. That didn't occur to me until afterwards, and I'm like, how is Anthony not complaining about being hungry?
Because he stuffed his belly with 3 types of meat.
I just remember thinking it was so bizarre because it was very out of character. I'm like, man, not only one meal today.
My
he's
plate,
just, how is he doing this?
Dude, my plate, I had stuffing, I had like turkey, I had beef, I had like peas.
You explained it was like Thanksgiving food.
It was.
I didn't miss it as much because I'm not wild about
I know,
that
Dane,
stuff.
but you know what? When you've been on the road for that many days, there's something like a home cooked meal.
That was my plate.
Yeah,
Dane.
it looks like a Thanksgiving.
There's something like a home cooked meal that just sounds.
You guys can see this.
It just don't.
Yeah,
it looks awful on camera.
yeah.
What did you say? Potatoes, mashed potatoes, roasted potatoes.
Oh man.
Green beans, it was awesome food.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't have that.
So back to
Toby
the bus.
Carver.
We
Back to the
finished
bus.
up with the bus, and then after that, we went out to dinner at this place. It's actually pretty nice. It's just the ordering of the food was kind of strange because we had to order on an app.
Yeah.
Well, like all bars want the system. Let's be honest. Like I've seen that kind of thing implemented other places, but it was usually better. Here, it was kind of a mess.
Well, the
because
girls
what
just
happened
didn't know
was
what table was what.
You would order on the app, but there was no real indication apart from you noting your table number. They'd come over, but they had never met you before, seen you before, so they had no idea who was who or what was what.
In a perfect world, they would have come and said table 32, and the 4 of you that were sitting at table 32 would have gotten your food.
And it would have been
Instead, they
better
just started
understood.
setting
They
dishes
just set
out.
things down. They're like, you figure it out. And it's
Yeah.
just like, oh.
But it was still a fun night, great night with
Yeah.
friends, great night to be able to sit and talk with everybody. We had a blast. Mario, it was great seeing you and be able to spend time talking with you guys and your company. It was really cool. If you guys haven't checked out Garage Therapy, check them out. But it was fun. We had a good night on Monday night. Great time with John and Amanda. And then the next morning, so we went to bed, woke up the next morning. John picked us up. We all piled in the van. We said bye to Lars and Bodo and Michael. They had all left because they had to leave early to head back.
Do their thing.
So it was just the 6 of us plus John with John, and we drove to NBN London. Jack met us there while driving a GR Yaris.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
So we
it
spent
was a tuned one,
spent
too,
the morning
so.
at NBN London. Got to see a lot of the changes. We did shoot a video, so you guys will get to see the differences that kind of went on. But it was really great to see the guys again. Be there, check it
Alpha
out.
was so nice.
Alpha was
Yeah.
amazing, and thank you, John, for setting that all up.
Yes.
It was great to be able to hang out with everybody. Then headed over to Clean and Shiny from there. And got to see everything that's been changed with Clean and Shiny with the new unit and the new unit, the extra unit. Getting to see the new bay, the new detail, the new hangout shoot bay. Just super cool. It's really neat to see the growth of the business and what that's all done and what John's been able to achieve.
Yeah, John's killing it, man.
It's an impressive improvement from the last time we saw it. So it's very nice.
But it was also cool because Bob and Rennie got to see John's place.
Right,
and that was their first time. So they got to see
all the PNS stuff.
all the PNS stuff, and then just see how he's running his business. And I think that's key. Is a lot of people don't realize, and a lot of customers don't realize when
you don't
they're
really
ordering
think
products.
about
They
that
don't.
side of it all the time. You're
so
just like, oh, I got the product. End of
Well,
story.
it's super cool to spend the day there.
I personally liked being chauffeured to Clean and Shiny in a GR Yaris. That was pretty crazy.
You did get that.
So I did get that.
Yeah.
I did get that privilege, and then
to follow it up.
Oh, I know, but hold on. But we did that, which was pretty great. And then we got lunch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got myself some UK McDonald's,
You did.
right? Which, dude, it hit the spot. Like, after all the crazy foods and different things we've been having, there was something, like, great about just having or whatever it was, a quarter pounder with cheese or a quarter pounder with, like, a chicken sandwich and some fries. I was just like, this feels
I felt
feels good.
weird that
Yeah.
the second most popular like American fast food franchise I saw outside of McDonald's, like you expect McDonald's, the second most common one I saw was KFC, and I found that so
Strange.
bizarre.
So strange.
Because here it's like, yeah, it's part of the landscape, but it's not really top of the heap. No.
Nobody really
It
goes
was
KFC.
strange.
So, but we had some lunch, and then I went over to John's into one of the fulfillment areas, and I started cracking open a bunch of bottles and smelling a lot of products. So,
Yeah.
John, I apologize if you have any leakers from
Yeah, it's
that
all his
from
fault.
that thing. But then John was very nice to offered me a ride in his M2 competition, which I've never been in one.
I hope you got some video while you were in there.
Wanted one of my first M2 experience, right? And so he was able to give me that. And so his has the DCT, right? And he does have some stuff done to it, so I know he's got the exhaust done to it.
Okay.
I can't remember if he's running a tune or not.
It sounds good,
but it sounds incredible. And took me out for a quick spin. What I did not realize was actually how quick the M2 is. Like it's
comp specifically.
Like the competition, it's quick, man. Like it gives you that feeling. I think like right when you get over about 400 horsepower, you know that there's something. It's quite a bit quicker than a normal car, and
that's how I feel with the Suburban every day. Just getting in that, it's like, man.
But no, we went on a good drive
it.
and headed back, and I think that's when we pretty much called it a day, right?
Well, yeah. Then we headed back to the hotel, changed, kind of got ready, and then John picked us up.
Yeah.
Did we just head straight to Smith and Western, or we changed?
No, we did head straight there.
We just headed straight there. That's right.
We didn't even go back home. We just headed
to...
straight to Smith and Western.
Yeah.
Actually, did we do our test?
Huh?
We do our COVID test.
Oh, that's right. We did. We headed back to do our COVID test, then to Smith and Western.
Within 24 hours of leaving,
that's right.
You have to...
We all tested negative, thankfully.
Yep. My dad put those guys up to a fun little prank.
That was fun, yeah. Anthony was running behind, so we had to make a little joke with that.
Sorry, guys, you're going to have to wait longer for your results here, Anthony. You may not be able to leave with us.
But we were able to test, then went to Smith and Western and had a great dinner.
Dude,
it was delicious.
Bomb.
And even
was
Jack,
too.
Jack was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to make this now. I'm gonna have to stop by some of these."
He was
like, surprised.
What are you guys? Yeah, I'm coming to this place. What is the? And then after he had it, he was like, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
No, like, dude,
like he was
plates,
into it by the
end. They really do give you like U.S. portions because I mean, I had ribs, I had
They
chicken
know what
wings.
you're looking for, brother.
Dude, we were stuffed. We left that place full. Like everybody was very confused that these Americans were there because everybody's like listening to us, and we asked our waitress. We said, is it pretty often you guys get Americans here? She's like no.
Like it's weird that you guys are here.
But then, so that was great. And John took us back to the hotel, said bye to John, said bye to Jack when we left at the parking garage. Headed back, and then the next morning we had some time. Our flight wasn't going to be till 3:00. So we woke up, had breakfast about 9:00, got dressed, got ready to go, and then we knocked on the door. Dane was in the shower. Jeff was like, "Oh, I'm just chilling out. What's going on? I haven't even showered yet." Anthony and I were a little antsy, so we were ready to get moving. So we thought, well, let's go take a walk. So we did a little walk around the hotel. We actually walked back over to the Moxie.
Yes.
Washed our hands, checked it out, said hello, missed it, and then headed back to the hotel, grabbed our stuff, went down.
I feel like behind the desk. Oh, are you staying here today, sir?
Yeah.
No.
We just like the Moxie Hotel, man. It's like the vibes, dude. It's just
where we need
vibes.
To be. But anyway, it was awesome. Then we hopped on the flight, no issues, flew to Seattle, got through customs, flew to Boise, got home, went to sleep, and then relaxed. I mean, that was really it. We had the next 4 days off, and it was nice to be home.
Dude,
as much as we miss everybody over there, it was nice to come home. My kids were excited to see me. Everybody was pretty good, and and I have to go to the bathroom because this has been a very long podcast.
It has.
Yeah. So it was a great time. It's like I said, like Levi said, it's good to be back home. Like I miss seeing my daughter. It was hard, very hard being away from her. My wife did make cards for me for every day I was gone, with pictures of her in there, and you don't want to miss out. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to miss out because when I got home, I was like, man, she's bigger. And
right? It feels like that.
She's bigger and she's talking more, and I'm like, oh God, I hate missing out like that. So I'm happy to be home, and I mean, we had a pretty good weekend. Everybody's weekend was pretty chill, and maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that on Thursday. But I think this has been a long podcast. We want to thank everybody that made that trip possible.
Thank you, everybody that hosted us, drove us, spent time with us, saw us, said hello to us.
Oh, shout out Jim White, who came and saw us for like 5 minutes. We got to talk.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Thank you, John, for everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
thank you, John,
brother.
Everybody,
Jack,
Patrick.
So much fun.
Everybody.
Yeah, it was fun. We finally got to hang out with Alan on this trip.
Yes.
Yeah.
We never got to do that the last 2 years. So
and Alan really did stick around for a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. We got to go to a carvery with him, right?
Yeah.
That's the best. So, anyways,
Dane,
Dane,
take us
take it
home.
away.
Oh, man. Thank you so much to all of you who are watching this right now. If you're watching this sometime in the future, thank you. And hopefully by that point, whenever you're watching in the future, maybe it's like a few weeks from now, a month from now, you will have seen our travel video so you can actually see what we saw. You know, some of the extra stuff and the things that we can't necessarily talk about right now. But there's some fun stuff waiting for you in the future. So, with that said, thank you. I hope you're subscribed. If you haven't already, come on, guys. What are you doing? Just click it. Click like, and we will catch you later this week for Q&A Thursday, where we'll probably be a little more awake. But till then, have a great
It was a jubilation.
We'll see you there. It was a jubilation.
See ya.